Am I sitting good? Am I sitting good? I think
You're sitting good.
I'm sniffing good.
Sniffing good.
Oh,
I'm sniffing good.
putting my foot down. I think I'll get everything laid out properly.
Put my foot down, son.
Oh God.
I
With
What?
that fucking ready to fucking... What's up, bitches and biddets? Welcome back to another fine episode of the Biddy Bros Podcast! Jim's looking off in the middle of nowhere.
I thought I had a spider on my wall. I was
Oh,
like, wow.
what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another fine episode, eh? Episode... what, 12?
Episode, yes.
151?
Episode. Are you going to do a special one when it comes up to episode 69?
Yep.
69. Well, we had 150 and we didn't do that.
We can't really have a 69.
169.
Yeah, go 169.
Yeah,
169.
No, 69 was a long time ago. Like, fuck.
I mean, speaking of that, though, I think of something special. I mean, I jokingly, I haven't heard anything back yet, but I've noticed on Twitter a lot lately, bloody Angela White has been on a lot of people's podcasts.
Who?
Angela White.
No idea who that is.
Wookie, no, he'll look her up. You're looking her up right now. So she,
Yeah.
Yeah, she's been popping up a lot of people's.
with her work.
She's been popping up a lot of people's podcasts lately. She's been doing a lot of I mean, these are all in house but she's been doing a lot of porn stars stuff. Been getting on podcasts lately, and I was just like, maybe I can wish. And I was just like, she tweeted, she was commenting on the tweets that she was in on the podcast, kind of reverse promoting kind of thing. And I was like, it'd be great, it's like, oh, how do you do this? Because it'd be nice to have you on the podcast, on my podcast. I was trying to plug. I was just like, maybe, try and get someone on the podcast. We're only on Discord. It's even easier. Everyone can get Discord. Geez.
Everyone's got fucking Discord.
We can just easily get you into
I wouldn't say everyone, but...
No, but... I mean, most
everyone who
Discord.
knows.
It's not hard to get Discord.
I'm still trying to get Johnny Depp on the potty.
Johnny Depp, Johnny Bravo.
Oh, Johnny Bravo.
Johnny Bravo?
Johnny Bravo would be more impressive.
get a Johnny Bravo up on the... Oh, fucking hell. But yeah, I was like, oh... I mean, you did that time, you tweeted at Boogie that one time, and he liked it, but he hasn't heard anything back, but...
Probably because I didn't follow that up,
No,
to be fair.
so...
No,
I mean, it's just trying to think who we can try and get, that will be willing to... We got,
Boogie.
Bushido. Bushido would be down. We have said that before.
We already got Bushido.
We just got to organise with him when he's...
I don't know when, though.
I think once he's
Tom
done
Hanks.
his Resident Evil
It's
stuff,
Tom
I think
Hanks
get him
on.
on here. Tom Hanks. I mean, we could get Tim Allen. Would be cool if we got Tim Allen. He's done
Tom Hanks.
he's done little podcasts. Remember we've been watching Jim's watched Last Man Standing. I'm nearly finished Last Man Standing. But
I smashed that.
but you get the reference.
A little while ago now.
You're going Pixelator man now. But we're it was kind of funny, his little podcast he does, his little blogs, which are pretty cool. I mean, imagine having something like that.
At the end of the episode.
Imagine getting him on, and it'd be the same kind of thing because he's acted out doing blogs and stuff. Imagine getting him on something like that. It'd be get him on a podcast and chatting with him or something like that. I know there's all kind of people.
It might go the same way.
just doing the same thing, just doing what he does, making a man's
Put
man.
some days during the day into the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or imagine if we could even try and get up if we could even try and get Rai Rai and Kai Kai for the sci-fi guy.
Sci-fi guys.
Imagine if we could do a weird crossover with that, getting those. Imagine if you could pull some celebrities like that, and just anyone, even if they're whatever.
I mean, we can.
And be can you come on on the podcast and be Rai Rai and Kai Kai and just be the sci-fi guy and just play it out with us, being character, because it's been 2 years now since I've last played those characters. I think because it's 2021,
yeah.
So it's about 2 years. But imagine having them come on.
Should get Friendly Geordie on.
Friendly Geordie.
Yeah,
Who's
Friendly
that?
Geordie.
Mm.
He's
They're
a
Australian.
YouTuber.
Yeah, the guy who got in trouble, wasn't it, from the government or some shit?
Friendly Geordies.
He's made a few enemies. We could put it that way. He was firebombed his house.
Yeah. Was that last year?
I think it was I don't know. It seems
Year
like a
before.
year
Last
ago,
year?
but it's probably
End of last
a
year?
month.
Probably longer than that. Fuck.
Yeah, probably. I think it was the start of this year.
Start this year, end of last year.
Yeah,
I'm
something like
pretty
that.
sure it was last. Pretty sure it was last year.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Still,
Kids blame it on that
pissing off
fucking
a lot of
government guy.
people, and he's the champ for it. So
yeah,
yeah, I'm a
Yeah.
big fan of him and watch all his content.
Yeah, well, he
and,
doesn't take shit, so
Oh, that's pretty much it. He's just like.
he calls out shit. So
yeah.
Oh yeah. It's one of the things he's calling out lately is Australian troops committing war crimes.
Yep.
Over in Afghanistan, and also John Barrow, whatever. What's his name?
Barlow.
John Wheelbarrow.
Barrel. Uh,
John Barrel.
John Barrel. Whatever his name
Barrel.
is. I need more alcohol. But he's pretty cool. I'd probably highly recommend giving him any kind of platform to just say what he needs to say is always a good thing because more light to whatever he's going
Just comes
for
on,
is always
hijacks
good.
the podcast. Oh, there you go, ladies and gentlemen.
There goes that. We just.
I come on occasionally and I hijack the podcast. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but that's a bit different. I mean, he just starts going off whatever he's trying to do.
Yeah,
Right.
Nah.
Yeah, I start talking about lesbian vampire killers of Brisbane, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or video
Awesome.
games or movies that are coming out, and great sale
The
on
things we
Steam
talk
at the
about,
moment.
really.
Exactly.
I think it was on a different note, I managed to pick up Jedi Fallen Order on Steam. It was like $5 on
That's
Steam.
pretty good.
That's what I got it for, I
That's
think, too, on Steam.
90% off. So
When was
that's
that?
for those
Recently?
gamers out there. That's some
I got it many weeks ago now.
that's some good cheese. That's some extra cheese on your burger.
Yeah. That's pretty
and
Have you
there's
played it
always
yet,
the-
though? It's fucking
I've
good,
already
man.
got it. And also on
Oh.
Epic, there's Chess Ultra.
Mm-hmm.
That's free.
Chess.
And World of Warships Starter Pack.
Okay.
You can grab on Steam as well. So I don't know on
World
Chess
of
on
Warships.
Epic. World of Warships.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff coming to Epic, I guess.
There's World of Warcraft, World of
Lot of stuff.
Warships, World of Tanks, what the fuck it's called? Like,
War
there's a
Tanks.
world of everything.
World
World of Warcraft.
World of Warcraft. World
was
of
like-
Ships.
How many worlds are there?
There's a lot. There's multiple
War.
dimensions layered upon each other that go upwards and sideways.
Like
that's-
Wonka.
Whatever our universe
Wonkaville.
creates, it creates a universe on the side of it. So that means it keeps going out. But then there's universes that alternate from it as well, and those ones alternate sideways. If you want to go that way deep into the rabbit hole.
Gonna be World of Lego and shit soon.
Oh yeah, they're probably. Well, there's a new Lego game coming out. It's a racing
Yeah,
game.
it does tell me about that.
It looks good. So I'd definitely jump on that.
That's what Forza tried to do, but Lego that 2K did it way fucking better.
Yeah. Well,
It was actually put Lego
games are always
environment.
good.
Mm.
Well,
Right.
this Lego racer game is. Oh god, I can't remember.
2K Drive. Lego 2K Drive.
Oh yeah.
Don't know what. Everything could have 2K in front of it, doesn't it? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, because it's
2K
made.
Lego. It
It's
could be
made.
called Lego Drive. Like,
It's made by 2K.
yeah, but it could be called Lego Drive. Like,
But that's what I was making fun about. It's like it's funny that 2K games have to have 2K in their name. Like, why does
they
it
don't have to. I think it's just their
It's their running
brand.
joke.
Like, it's their choice. Like,
But it always usually it always reflected because it was based upon the year like the game was coming out as well. I felt like that's what I always thought it was. And it's like that's why I made the joke too. I was like, "What year is it? It's year 2K
Nah.
Drive."
oh yeah, yeah.
And I was like, "What?"
It does look good though. It does look fun. That new Lego 2K.
I'm keen.
It does
for
look fun. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah, it
keen.
does
Just
look fun.
it reminds me of like nuts and
Is it
bolts
on
a little
Game
bit.
Pass?
No, I don't think it was.
I'm not playing it then.
You never touch Game Pass that often anyway. What are you talking about?
Also a heads up about that World of Warships. Not, you have to own the base game to get the add-on
Yeah,
from Epic.
it's a free game anyway.
I just,
Yeah,
I
it's a
just
free game
no,
anyway. So.
Oh, is it? I don't even
Yeah.
own that. So
Mm.
But
I don't
still,
even own that.
chess games are the bomb.
I
I've got
just claim
the,
that.
I'll have to give it a claim. I'll verse you a 1v1 in chess.
Yep, done.
Fucking
Do it over
I
stream.
didn't know how to
Do
play
some chess
to
after
be fair.
after the podcast. Or 1v1 in chess.
1v1 in chess.
1v1. Stream it to the world, son.
No.
But yeah, no, fucking no. I was gonna say though, it does. Like, I am definitely keen for that Lego game, 100%. Like, it was funny that it's kind of interesting. Like, I felt like the collabs they'd done a fair bit because they've done a few collabs with different people before, like with Forza and stuff like that. And I think with the feedback they've had with that, I think it was like, let's finally make our own actual driving game. And they're like, let's go ahead.
2K Lego though?
Yeah, I know it's weird. It's weird out of like it's
it-
weird for 2K. I
looks
mean,
good.
we did remember when they did say that 2K was going to be spitting out a whole bunch of games.
Yeah, but
You found something that you wanted.
Someone's coming in behind you. But like, it's interesting because we did talk a while back on the podcast when we heard that 2K had announced that they'll be doing like a whole list of games that they'll be spitting out like over the next few years. I don't think we expected 2K to be like Lego driving. Like, I did not expect that to be on the table.
a racing game, but not Lego.
Yeah, I did not expect that to drop from 2K.
You get about you can make whatever car that you want.
Yeah.
You get about 1,000 blocks, and then you can just build whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then you race it. So
do you know what I'm making? You know what I'm going to be making?
Car.
Hot dog, pickled.
That'd be pickled, but I was thinking I'll make a dick plane, a dick boat, and a dick friggin' car. Just make it all dicks.
It seems like you can create it and put it up in the community so other people.
No.
can
No. There's no community stuff.
There's no community stuff.
No.
And I think that's the reason
sucks.
why, so people aren't uploading, because it's a kids game. It's a pure like kids game, and I think that's what they're trying to stop is people making dicks and then uploading it to the servers. I think that's
but
the
still,
biggest
like,
issue.
you should be at least be able to share them. Like, fuck,
Yeah,
what's the point of
yeah,
creating if you can't
exactly.
share it?
Yeah,
Like,
I wouldn't be
exactly.
surprised they might add it later on. I wouldn't be surprised if they go, oh, okay, feedback. Yep, we
it's a
figured
bit
it out.
late then.
I mean,
like-
games do that all the time. Add features in late.
yeah,
Like,
they
there's
do.
plenty of games that add features late. You know, a
And
year
because
later,
they
6
create
months later.
those features, it brings new life to that game later on down the track. So people want to go back to it and say, "Oh, this is awesome," and they'll relive those.
Yeah, but having it there
memories
day
again.
one would be amazing, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's
Well,
one of those
that's
things.
true, but you want to kind of spread things out, and also you only get like during it's technically a AAA game. You want to put the main base of the game out as fast as you can.
I think the biggest
and then
focus is
see how it
single player.
goes.
Like, I think that's what they're trying to
Yeah,
focus
that's
out.
out
is more
what
single
May,
player.
so it's not that far off.
I'm keen for it. I'm wanting to
Right.
pick that up for sure though. Like, it's coming out on everything, like, which is good that it's still
Yeah.
accommodating for like old gen, which is good. Like, they're not, which makes sense for a lot of these games that are kids games. They need to accommodate that.
I would hate to see how it runs, though. To be fair,
I don't think it would be that
because
bad.
it looks like it's pretty it's a pretty advanced game, like a lot of physics and stuff.
No, a lot of
Because you can
Lego
break a lot of
games-
stuff in there, except the main building.
Well, I
think.
imagine for like the current gen consoles, there'll be a bigger render, so you'd have that larger render, so you can see these things breaking. But like older gen, the render would be more compact, so therefore you're only breaking like you'd only see in
Like,
that
look
area.
at Cyberpunk.
Because you're loading so much. Remember how much chunks that were loading? I've played on it like OG, you know, and it's like larger. They try to put in larger space on older platforms. It didn't work because you're rendering in larger spaces.
And that game's gonna be the exact same.
And
Like,
I think, like I said, I reckon they'll have the render distances more in, so you're not seeing as much, and it'll accommodate to run better.
yeah, but it'd be more freaking poppy, in which you don't
So-
really want that either.
It's a kids game. At the end of the day, it is designed for kids, and I don't think kids really care that much. Like,
The irony
The
is
adults
we've
would-
just been talking about it, and it just popped up as an ad up on my computer.
2K Drive.
cause, like as I said, it's a
They
kids
know,
game.
bro.
Like,
They know.
know.
and we've also
They
got
know.
like for kids game as well. We've got like the new Crash Team Rumble coming out in June, I think it is.
That looks fucking good.
And that's fun. Like that's
That
like a new
looks
take. It's
fucking
like you can play as
good.
any of the characters, and you get to literally run around. And
No, there's 8
tag team.
characters, I think.
Yeah.
6 or
don't
8
forget,
characters.
Also, Resident Evil Remake just released.
Yes, that came out as well. It
That
does actually
came
look pretty
out.
good.
And also Last of Us on March 28th. Last of Us
On
Part 1
PC.
on PC is being
Mm-hmm.
released. And
Yeah.
also there was one that I like it because of all the cameos in it. Is Crime Boss Roque City. Roque.
I was
Yes.
keen, but after seeing the previews and that, I'm not.
still kind of
like,
keen. I'm still kind of keen.
I'm kind of keen because it's like $50 if you get it like base game like.
And they're
now,
saying that Chuck Norris is supposed to be the first DLC as well.
Oh, sorry, not in the base game then. What
No,
the
I
fuck?
was reading saying that he's
They,
supposed to be part of the
they
DLC.
showed him off like
Yeah, they showed him off.
Yeah, it's
That's
like a
little
weird thing because
bit-
he's like riding a horse or
like
something. Someone's
characters
reading a
behind
thing about it.
fucking paid to fucking get
Mm.
characters now.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Well, you get Johnny. What was that? Who do you get? Vanilla Ice. He's in
There's
it.
a lot of characters the game has. So.
There's a lot of characters. A lot of a lot of cameos, which is why it looks interesting to me.
I mean, if you like Payday, it's one of those kind of games.
Yeah,
which
I
is
love Payday.
Pretty
so
cool.
There's like because there's other games. There's like Payday. There's Raid. There's a few.
Except you don't set up the heist like you do in Payday. You don't do none of that. You just go in, shoot, go out.
That's not too big of a deal.
Payday 3 was teased.
That is coming out this year, isn't it?
I think it's this year. Yeah.
Well,
That's going to blow everything else out of the fucking water.
I was gonna say, speaking of sequels, if we're gonna jump forwards again, the biggest sequel I thought was pretty cool they announced was Counter-Strike 2.
Yeah, that was.
I was like, ooh.
I was interested on that.
Isn't that just? It's also just replacing the first one, isn't it? Like it's not really a whole.
First Counter-Strike has been a bit weird. It's kind of a full rebuild. And everything's like a whole new thing because it's like the first one was just a bit weird.
Just replacing the original.
Because the first one, like on Steam, had gotten a bit weird. Like if you look at the traditional Counter-Strike, because it became Global Offense, I think it was, and stuff like that. Like it changed, and it wasn't really the same anymore.
There's a few things of it. There's a few.
It got weird. It became because the original Counter-Strike became kind of part of Gmod and stuff like that, and it was a real element hub to be part of that kind of stuff, and it just was weird. Like I'd log on to Counter-Strike now on Steam, and it's not the same Counter-Strike that used to be Counter-Strike. Then that Counter-Strike became Global Offense, and it was just like, what the fuck? Like, why did it change? And they just gave it like a HD remake.
I mean,
basically.
the OG was still there, but it was under a different name.
It just became weird. The OG, it wasn't. Yeah, it was just all built for mods and stuff and weird game modes and stuff. It's just...
Crash Team Rumble. That looks fucking amazing.
Like, Crash Team does look good. Yeah. I like all the dialogues.
It's 4v4. Like fuck.
April 28th.
April 28th. Star Wars Jedi Survivor comes out.
Yes. Sorry for those who are listening. We're all jumping all over the place at the moment. We're just a little bit excited with all these announcements. There's a lot of announcements.
Yeah. Oh, I'm excited about the games this year, actually, because
No, I mean
the last couple of years have been a bit, so-so.
We're seeing some good games starting to come our way.
Minecraft Legends on April 18th. That one, if you... I'm just putting it out there because there's Minecraft.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's funny, we've talked about this before, but now we're actually getting to the point now we're actually getting close to those months for those things to drop.
In the next few months.
Like, it's like next month, the month after, it's like, they're actually going to be here. We're actually going to be able to play these games. I'm just like,
yeah, when does Minecraft come out? Like April, May?
I wanted to get Hogwarts, so I'm going to still get a Hogwarts, but that's coming out April for last gen. I'm really curious to see, because I've watched people play it on next gen and PC and stuff like, or current gen and PC. I'm really kind of curious to see...
for the PS4 and Xbox One release? Like, there's
none. I'm keen to see how that actually looks on old tech. Like, the way that they've been working on it to make it work. I'm kind of curious. Like, I'm wanting to get it more so because I want to know how that plays, how that runs from what I've seen. Right. Like, I've seen it,
so it runs so good on the...
the downscaling. Like, I'm really
PC,
interested in the downscaling. Like, I was gonna get it on PC, but I'm like, no, I'll just hold out for console and just buy it on console. Like,
get used to the word Revelio.
Well, I'm excited for May 30th, which is System Shock, the remake of the original game.
Oh yeah.
So I played the demo at PAX, and
was it good?
It was good, and I'm playing a bit of the demo right now.
Yep.
And it is good. And that game is like flashbacks of playing System Shock 2, that whole kind of creepiness, a bit of heart palpitations.
Isn't that the Black Mesa developers and that? Like, isn't that there?
Can't remember.
Can't remember because Black Mesa's the remake. But what's that?
System Shock, wasn't that done by the people that kind of like did another game? No, System Shock did
System Shock is developers Night Dive Studios.
Who did the original System Shock? Is that them still or someone else?
I'd say
System Shock. The remake is Looking Glass Studios developer.
Okay, because it's on.
Oh no, that was 1994. That's the old one. Don't worry.
Yeah. The original.
Why don't give me the old one?
Shock was. Yeah, Looking Glass.
And what else did they do? What else did they do?
Looks like it.
Was there anything else they did? I thought they did other things as well.
Oh no, Looking Glass are doing the remake still. They're helping the other ones.
Yeah.
Night Drive and Looking Glass are doing the remake.
Also, they're doing Payday 3.
Okay.
So it's Iron Harvest. That one's Case. That was a good one.
Oh fuck! Atari has entered an agreement to acquire Night Drive Studios.
Oh wow.
Nice, nice.
I just saw that. Like, that was two
Well,
freaking days ago.
what was that tweet you did earlier on our account about Xbox Activision?
They got the go ahead to buy them.
So did get the go ahead fully, completely to buy it all up.
Yep.
They didn't have to separate and split it.
No,
Yeah.
because did they say that they won't hold off releasing on PlayStation games?
I don't know.
They actually agreed to it. They didn't have to sign contracts, so they were going to still release games to PlayStation. That's all they needed was the actual, no hold bar kind of thing. Which makes sense if that was the case.
They won't.
Well,
go
the deal's not.
Yep.
They're not going to finalize it till April 30th. I think is the
So
earliest
basically, they're
they can
like,
do
as
it.
long as you don't have, like, no one has to sign contracts, but as long as you don't gatekeep, you're allowed
Yeah.
to take it. Which
Pretty
makes sense.
much.
That's fair. Like, PlayStation shouldn't be signing contracts because if they sign a contract, they're also technically still gatekept because they go like, oh, 10 years, nothing
Yep.
else after that. So if they're open to a full open agreement with no gatekeeping at all,
And I think
then-
the Nintendo one and the Sony ones are all fake anyway. Like
They'll just
I
type.
think those
I
ones
mean,
weren't
they can still
actually
make those deals, but I think
deals.
that's what Sony was trying to get at. This is what Sony was trying to get at in the first place, is if you're going to buy a
They're trying to
developer
play
this
the good
big,
guys,
because
like
we've
stuff,
already seen what they did with Bethesda. Bethesda, like, at least they had agreed still with some games that was on PlayStation still. Yeah, it makes sense, but then there were some games that they promised. They're like, no, we're not doing that now, because they're,
I had to modify
new
that
IPs.
tweet because I wasn't going to put the bottom half in.
Yeah, I saw that. It was a bit smart, cheesy. I was like, oh, bro, that was great. Trigger some people.
I wasn't sure because I'm like, I just saw it and went, I'm going to make a tweet about this.
But I will say, there's one thing that triggered people today over the weekend so far that started is if you've noticed, the Diablo 4 open beta had dropped. And
Looks fucking good.
the queue times and the crashings, because it was overloaded with players jumping on to queue
Yeah,
up
I
in.
bet.
And
We're
people
really
were
getting
getting
good
massive
signs.
queues.
Jumping on.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like, it looks
I
great.
call it a good sign.
But like,
because-
damn, like, so many people were like so butthurt because like I'm just gonna wait. Like, I'll wait for the game to come out.
But it's up
like-
to 2 days.
Yeah,
So
so it's not bad.
I might
but
play it later. Who knows?
have you got it downloaded?
Nope.
It's like
I forgot it was free, this one.
it's like 40 gig or something
But-
like that.
It's not too bad.
It was a fair size when I was looking at it to download. I was like, shoo.
Yeah, well, there was a thing
And then
that
the
was
waiting time, and I was
76 on,
like-
on Xbox. I'm
I
like,
know. Yeah, it could be.
that was the
larger
whole
argument.
game. They could download the whole game, but only play the demo.
Yeah, that's
Like-
what happens with sometimes you download the whole game, but then you're locked at a pay block, so that you.
Yeah,
you know.
but it's only Xbox is the full 70-something gig. It's like,
I've had that before with betas, with some
That's
betas, where I've
weird.
downloaded the whole thing, but then you're locked at a certain point
That's
of what you can
messed up.
play. It's like, if you just know how to hack it, delete it, and you're like, boom, I can access everything. Like, but there's all these locks. But that's all it takes. That's all it takes, really, because they put a cap on it, a cap wall in the coding, so it stops you from going any further or doing.
but you
anything.
can't really hack it on console unless you jailbreak your console.
Exactly.
And then you can't get online anyway, so.
Yeah, because they know and they go, you ban your account, ban your console, lock it
They,
down.
they literally block the whole console. Like, they can sell it and it's still blocked. Like, someone. That's why you want to be wary buying a console, especially a Sony console, off eBay and shit, because that could be locked.
Yeah, that's why they've stolen it, because it's locked.
They done
Oh,
some sketchy shit and got it locked. Like,
Yep, just need to get rid of it. Because that's happened a few times. We've seen people buy stuff and they're like, nah. Didn't someone buy one from one of those people online? Like, it wasn't DK, but it was like someone else, I think, wasn't it?
yeah, and
Someone
it
else
was
like that.
yeah,
and
it was a locked
It
one.
was like jail locked. Was it DK or was it someone else?
No, it was someone.
One of the other ones.
off
Jump.
eBay, or it was I think it was a charity place
There's another one. Yeah, something like that. But yeah,
or
it's like
something,
it was
and
locked.
they
Just
just
like,
bought it, and
they were
I guess I
screwed.
didn't check it.
How are you supposed to know? It's like, I wonder how you'd go if you were to buy a second-hand console and you were done like that. Could they?
Yeah, but
unlock
people
it?
who buy are meant to check it, which they clearly don't. Otherwise, we would have said we can't sell this. It's fucking blocked. Like, you
That's
can't
fucking
access it. And also,
Um,
you have to get in contact with PlayStation to get it fixed.
What else was there?
That's if they even do get it fixed.
Yeah, sorry. I'm just thinking out loud while you were talking there. Sorry, I was like, you don't realize I'm talking. I was like, what do I got next? I was meant to say it in my head, and I was saying it out loud. I was like, oh shit, I'm actually saying it. I'm talking over you. Sorry. It's meant to be in my head. No. Fuck. Anyway.
Oh, that's funny.
I was just like preparing myself to move on to the next thing, but I was like, yep, just blah, 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 just spitting it out.
wonder what that
I
was.
was about to say, didn't you try something today?
I did. I was gonna say I did try. I got a video up on my channel. Some Prime Drink Prime,
Ooh, yes.
Logan Paul and KSI's Prime hydration drink. So I made a video on that. It was pretty interesting.
I was about to say, don't give it away on the podcast because that's
No.
what the point of the video is.
Yeah, exactly. So go over to my channel if you want to watch it over there on PickleTube TV. We've got a video up there. You can check that out. And we've also actually what we're talking about too the last few episodes. I've got my statues now. And they're up on there as well. You can check out my react to those as well. I'm
Right.
getting my Bandai Banpresto figures, whatever you want to call them.
Oh, yeah,
Jim's
gotta
got a,
forget the name. I mean, you haven't
but
you?
Jim's got a few of them up on his channel as well. So check out if you want to check out some of Jim's unboxings of his over there at Captain Jim Sparrow as well. Cheeky little plug. Wookie
I
doesn't
still
have
got them
much going
popping
on.
up. They're just still
So-
scheduled. They're just popping
just
every few
popping up.
days.
So check him out. So, but yeah, no. So yeah, if you want to check out my React to Prime, go over there and check it out by all means. That's like a cheesy little plug.
Yeah. I just wanted to bring that up.
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause
Um,
it is those drinks are very hard to find.
people are going crazy. I mean,
as far
yeah.
as it-
It
It's-
was weird. Okay. I was at the shops. When I was at the shops this morning, I didn't even really take an acknowledgement. I walked in because I walked in. There was a sign there, like a piece of paper. Because you know when you go to shops and they have like the sign up saying, you know, like only limited so many per customer. I
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
saw it slapped up, and I didn't really acknowledge it first, but I kind of absorbed it. I was like, wait, are they talking about the thing? And I went down there. I'm like, I think they did. So I went down the aisle, and right bang, I was like, where is it? And I saw another sign. I'm like, oh, so it is Prime. And where was it? It was like down between the Powerade and the Gatorade. Fucking
Gatorade,
Gary Raid, the Gatorade.
Gatorade.
It was like smack bang between it was just Prime right in the middle between the two of them. And it's funny though because like Powerade was on special for half price and Gatorade was on special for half price and Prime's right in the middle for like the brand price of $4.50. Like it's not bad compared to the others.
That's
Like
expensive for water. Fuck me.
it's coconut water flavored water. Whatever.
Technically, it's actually cheaper than buying it online, which Amazon on Amazon and eBay on average is people are charging about $20 to $30
Yes.
per bottle.
People shouldn't be buying that. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I know.
People are mad for it, but it's
But,
funny because
yeah.
like it was like it was about what time did we go there? It was about 8:30, 9 o'clock. And I went down the aisle. People looked like they'd either got it because I don't know if it had been fresh up that morning when people had already got it, or it was like the day before people might have been grabbing it. I'm not exactly sure like when it hit the store. But I was in the aisle and no one was really there yet. Like it looked like some people had kind of gone through, but it wasn't like thing. But once I got there and I was like, okay, let's have a look at the like I was curious about what was in it. So I started looking at the back, going through it. And while I'm there, people just started coming up more and more and more. And I had like NPC experiences because everyone just like I'm there having a read through, and people just started wanting to have conversations. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm just like, oh I gotta conversate now with these people, and they're like, oh, do you see they're selling this for so much on online? And it's just like, oh, I'm thinking of getting these for my brother. Should I get them? Oh, like, I don't know which flavor. Have you tried these flavors before? And I'm just like, bro, I'm just standing here reading the ingredients. I'm literally standing there reading the ingredients in one hand, holding the drink in one hand, reading my ingredients. Got my phone open in the other, going, what is that? That's an amino acid. That's good for your brain. It's an amino acid. And I'm there going, the fuck are these like what how much is the daily dose, because I've never heard these things before in drinks. And I was like, what's the like, I wanted to make sure like if it was good or not. Like I wanted to know if they're actually putting legit things in the drink. How safe is it? Like I was curious
I mean,
before-
it pretty much is certified because it wouldn't be
things are
released
well,
otherwise.
Yeah,
you got like anything certified, like coffee, energy drinks, like everything's certified fine.
No.
But like
Not
sometimes you gotta like know your dosage intake. You gotta
Remember
know,
fucking pink
Yeah.
sauce? Whatever the fuck it was?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Well,
Well,
we're
that's-
having that conversation
That got
about
taken
what's
off
in it
fucking things
before the
pretty quick.
podcast.
Mm.
Yeah. We're
And-
having a conversation before the podcast about it, and that they can claim that they have more electrolytes
like 800 or something
than most
milligrams
yeah,
of electrolytes,
like,
something like
more electrolytes than like Gatorade and all that kind of stuff. Which you're like, oh yeah, more electrolytes. But the way they're getting, if you watch the video, Food Theory,
that. Yeah.
and it explains that yes, it is lower in sugar, which is great. Yes, it is more electrolytes than your Gatorade and all the others, but they get the electrolytes in like potassium.
Mm.
Oh, that's not
compared
good
to
either.
There's a few
The
potassiums.
electrolytes that you'd get in Gatorade, so they can get more electrolytes, but what your body actually needs when like you've done a workout, you actually need the electrolytes
salts.
from the
The
salts,
magnesium.
the magnesium, which is in your Gatorades, which is what you actually
Gatorade,
need for what
Powerade.
what
It's
you
good
get
for your
out,
that's the
exactly.
actual
That's why
muscle
it's
recovery. It's the salts in
Yeah.
in your muscles. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what
you
you
don't
Because
actually body
too much
needs.
potassium's bad. Like, whee.
Oh, you know, like
Well,
you know,
it's the right potassium.
technically-
You can eat a shit ton of bananas and be fine. Like,
Well,
Well, that's
bits.
person to
need,
person.
Like
yeah.
1.2 tons of potassium or something like that. It's over a ton of potassium that will actually kill you. But you know,
but like if you're
you
drinking
consume-
like all these primes a day, like maybe 10 primes, that's not fucking
And it
good.
literally says on the bottle itself, only 1 prime a day is recommended.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like,
Yeah.
Like, and even one of the ingredients that one of the that's what I'm saying, one of the amino acids I was reading literally says that's in that is the daily recommended dose.
yeah,
It was based upon body mass.
which then you got to use your you got to common sense to skip that
And
for
the
the rest of the
problem
day and
was,
anything else.
When
Like,
I was there, standing there, a lot of kids were coming up and grabbing these drinks, and I was like,
oh,
as a
that's
kid,
not for kids.
no. Like reading what the daily intake
You're-
of one of the
you're
amino
not
acids
gonna
was,
have all- yeah.
it's
Energy
85.
drinks are not energy drinks, but like
Powerade and
like
stuff like
even
that, yeah.
Power and Gatorade, they're not for kids.
Ironically, he's drinking Gatorade.
They're for like
But yeah,
adults.
literally
Like,
reading one of the amino acids it has, because they're all for like the amino acids it has is for like your muscle recovery. Basically, it's to keep your muscle growth. One's basically like they're all designed to do proper things. So it's muscle recovery,
Yeah.
muscle growth based on your workout. So these are designed to have during
which
workouts.
kids
Like
don't really do that.
it's like a pre-workout. Like these drinks that they're like pre-workouts basically. They help to flow with a pre-workout.
post-workout,
Well, it says on it pre or post.
And
It literally
post.
says on the thing
Oh.
pre or post workout.
pre and post.
So it's
Fuck.
meant to be, because it even says when I noticed too. Well, that's the thing. I'm not going to really spoil. That's in the video. You can get my reaction when I figured it out.
You already asked doing that already though.
Yeah.
There's stuff I'm talking about that's not in my review. Like I said, there's stuff I'm talking about isn't what I had in the video.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's interesting because like I said, there's 85 milligrams of one of these amino acids. That's like a muscle recovery or whatever it was, and literally says
That's
that
a
it's
lot of
because
milligrams.
85 milligrams, and that daily dose intake is based on our weight of being like what 100 kilos.
Hmm.
So imagine all those people that are under that weight. But it did also say that it's weird because
Or
there's- it's weird because there's another one that says as well that's 85 milligrams, but it literally states it's 85 milligrams. If you're 100 kilo, not even 100 kilos, there's a certain percentage that your body will absorb, where it then there becomes redundant and the body doesn't care about it, it just spits it out. It only takes in, so from 85 milligrams, it only takes...
or they store it as fat.
Nope, it doesn't. Literally says, they've done tests, like this has been tests because I was looking into it. Like I said, when I was reading all these things about these amino acids that are in it, there's literally one at the end, the valine or whatever it was at the end. It literally states that your body will consume only like X amount percentage, like, so if you were to say like it's 85 milligrams, it was like, I don't know, like say 50 milligrams. I can't remember the exact number, but your body will only absorb that 50 milligrams. That other percentage, like leftover milligrams, literally
goes
your body,
elsewhere.
it will literally just spit it out your body. Like your body will not absorb it. It only goes to a
Yeah,
certain
because I
point
know
of absorption.
some things like if you you have too much salt and shit, that just builds and builds and builds and makes things worse.
Yeah.
Like clogs your arteries and like
So,
fat and all that. Like,
Exactly that. So there's some stuff that will build up, but this one, like I said, this amino acid literally will go to your point to your body, which makes it redundant why they have so much in it, because it just feels like it's an extra number to push those potassium numbers up, basically, is what it comes down to, because it's an amino acid. Well, I think it's actually to
Yeah.
push the BCA numbers up. I think that's what it was really for, to say, oh, we've got all
true.
these BCAs. We've got, 250 milligrams of BCAs. It's like, well, that's just to push numbers up.
yeah, you look at a
But
regular bottle of water. There's all these things in it that shouldn't be in there.
Yeah, it's like, and that's what I mean. Like, it's
water,
flavored
yeah.
water. But like I said,
Like,
it's just interesting that,
You get because here we got some of the best water ever here in fucking Tassie.
yeah.
We have like spring water, like literally like straight from the fucking lake in a mountain.
Just straight, simple water. That's all you need.
Like you can test that. There's nothing in it. But yeah, you're paying like $3 for the fucking bottle. That's it.
Yeah, the plastic that you get back 10 cents on. But no, it's interesting that there's 3 ingredients that are the amino
It costs
acids.
them like 50 cents to make.
And like I said, there's 3. Like I said, it's still it's amazing to me that there's 3 amino acids. Like I said, the one that your body burns out is good for mental recovery as well, for your mental health, and it helps with like insomnia and shit like that.
Or your brain and that really like.
Yeah, so it's
help with
that
the-
muscle memory.
the-
The ones
the networks
muscle
and-
recovery. But like I said, there's literally one that's you're only allowed to have an X amount of before it becomes kind of bad for your body. Then there's another one that's gone, well, there's no point having that much in there because you're going to just, body burns just going to be like, no, we don't need that, and spit it out. So it's like, what the fuck are they doing? They got one that's got a bit too much in it that you shouldn't be having, and the one that's like, it's just for numbers. It's just like, bro, like, they're chucking shit in. That's why when I had it, I've had small shots today, like when I was doing my video and stuff, I was like wine taste testing, so I was like pouring little amounts of it and just trying it. I wasn't really getting into it. I mean, I paid $4.50 each a bottle. I've still got, and you can only once you've cracked it open, it only lasts for 3 days apparently. So like,
That's not just water then.
well, it's coconut water.
There's
and
something
else.
spoily in there.
Yeah, there's something that's going to spoil
Which
it,
minerals
which is-
don't do that.
No, so it's very interesting that it's like that. So I'm like,
You can
wow.
leave a Powerade open for like a week.
I mean,
and
I
it's
spent
fine.
$9. It worked for a video. It's a good little interesting try. I mean, it's maybe the only $9 I'll ever spend on
Considering
wasting
the
something like
hype
that.
behind
It's like
it.
I was like, yeah, why not? Like, I'll just give it a go. I mean,
It was
technically, if
funny
anyone wants
because
to
I
try it,
watched.
like if anyone wants to try it,
I've-
I've got it there. I can be like, here, try it. I can pour a little bit of it, and you can try it. To anyone that wants to try it. But it's like that's why I've been pouring into cups because in case I want to give it to someone else who wants to try it.
I don't know who it was that I saw drink it, but they're like, people drink this shit.
I mean, I
I
would
think
be
it was Pedro Pascal. I think.
yeah, it might have been.
I think it was it, or someone, or Steve
But,
Carell or
like-
someone. Like people drink this.
I wouldn't even be mad. Like, if you're sick, I would say, hey, maybe you could have Prime if you're sick. Like, if you're
Have
sick,
a Lucozade.
like that's what I'm saying. It kind of tastes a bit like Lucozade. It kind of feels like it's trying to be Lucozade.
It tastes like a medicine thing. Apparently, like it's got a medicinal taste.
Yeah, and it's
Artificial
it's
sweetener
weird
kind
because
of,
like I said, going back to the NPCs thing for a sec as well.
You can't
which is
beat.
funny.
You can't beat a Lucozade. They're amazing.
There was a lady when she was there when she was looking because it was weird because she's like she asked us like have we tried any other flavors, which was weird because then she ended up, and this is the thing that got me. She goes, oh, have you tried any other flavors? I'm like, nah. And then she goes, oh, don't drink the blue one because the blue one tastes like this. And I was like, oh, why are you asking us if we tried the flavors but you've tried a blue one? Like, what?
No,
Like,
but that does make sense
I
because
mean,
they're asking
guys,
if you've tried it. They're
if I've
giving you
tried
what it
any
tastes like.
but like, yeah, but I was like, it was interesting. But she said, so if you've ever heard, when you go to like the hospitals and the doctors and they give you the blue glucose drink, or like the glucose, and you gotta
Ah.
drink that and it has that taste.
Ew.
Apparently, the blue one of the
It's
Prime,
like chalk.
yeah, the blue Prime tastes just like that.
Yeah.
It tastes
And
just,
it's not horrible, but it's not nice.
and yeah, it tastes like that. So that's like it's just like that you would have to when they go to flush your system and test your system and stuff like that. Which is like wow, like and it
Yeah,
does
I have
kinda
that when I go
taste-
for
It does
scans
kind of
and
taste
that.
a bit medicinal. It does like kind of taste like medicine, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's the amino acids, like, because it's got like all these vitamins and shit in it. So I wouldn't be surprised.
That's why
if
Powerade
that's
and that
kind of
still
is.
win because they just taste good.
But
like,
that's the problem. If it comes to a point where the stuff they've got in it is technically like medicine, you shouldn't be taking that every day because it's medicine is recommended for a certain take. If they're making a medicine drink and putting it in and be like, here, you can just buy it and drink it whenever you want, that's creating a problem then because people are going to start taking it and then their body's either going to become dependent on these things without realizing and don't know why, and then,
or they're
there's
not gonna build up a tolerance towards it, which means it's not gonna work if they get sick.
like energy drinks, like exactly, like people drink too much energy drinks and they grow intolerancy to the
But
caffeine.
if you have
things.
antibiotics and pain pills when you don't need them, that shit's not gonna work later.
Yep. That's why I myself try to not take Panadol or like antibiotics when I don't need to. Like I will literally just try and fight it out the most and let my body.
I only
deal
do
with
it for a headache if it's a
that
severe
bad, yeah.
headache.
Most
But
headaches I will just ignore it unless it's that severe. Exactly.
headaches are usually just you need more water.
And what I
like-
can deal with it now is because I used to pop 2 Panadols to deal with a headache, and then I stopped taking Panadol for so long and just dealing with certain pains that if it's that bad, I can literally just take 1 Panadol and it works. I don't need to take 2.
Yeah.
Just pop 1 because my tolerance is at that point.
No, two's just a recommended thing.
Yeah.
Like just take 2.
But for a long
It works
time,
for longer.
for a long time, I used to do that. I used to take 2, and it would be the same thing. Last for like a couple of hours, and then I need to take 2 again because it didn't go away. But
Yeah, it's like 4 to 6 hours and take another 2. Then and some people depend on that forever. Like they just take popping pills because it makes them feel good. Like
yeah, there's some people that get addicted to it, and there's some that just need to medically. They're actually required to take like painkillers for the rest of their
yeah,
life.
but it's a different kind of painkiller though. It's not just Panadol or paracetamol.
There's
whatever
some
the fuck
people
they
I
call
know
it now.
that have like lived on Panadol, like it's not as frequent, but it's like they take 1 or 2. And it's like the recommended hours for like days, but it's fine.
Yeah, but if you don't need it, it's pointless.
No, but like they're required to take it because it's just what they need
Yeah.
to take. It just becomes
Yeah,
really
like people who
quick
just
medicine.
do it for the hell of it though. Like
Yeah, I know it's weird that people just do it for the hell of it.
it
It's
does
like,
more
bro,
harm
like,
than good.
Yeah, if you don't need it, literally does. It's going to create problems if you don't actually need it. Like I don't get it.
Because I've seen people get infected from like they abused antibiotics, and
Yeah.
that's what made them sick. Like it created
'cause
them to be sick. Like
it's the protein and the blood
Common
cell, like it
sense.
creates like white blood cells, stuff like that can happen. Like and then you create too many, and it creates
you have
the
too
infection.
many, and it's. That's why you go to the doctor. That was if you need it or not. Like,
Exactly.
and
so-
especially in Australia, you just go see a doctor, fucking GP for free.
Not anymore as much, but yeah.
You can down here.
Yeah, they charge for it now. It's crazy.
That's weird.
It's not much, but it's yeah.
Also, probably because I'm on a disability
I'm
thing,
gonna
maybe.
work out the rebate thing too. 'cause,
I'll just
like,
go
the
in
it's a
and-
weird rebate thing they do now that things. Like I said, for me to, or like I was like going to the, it's weird for me. Like I need to get a script. I usually just go to the doctors and be like, oh, can I get a repeat on my script? Yeah, sweet. You know, it's easy done. Booked. You walk in, shop, get your script, leave. Now it's like either pay $40 for a consultation just to get a script, or I just go over the phone and be like $20 over the phone to get a script. It's just like. It's like, what the fuck? Like, it's gonna force me not to go see them, which is like, hey, it's great. But then if I need to see them, it's like I need to have money to go see them when I need to actually see them. And
unless you go to A&E.
I don't always have a lot of money. So yeah, and I'm not
emergency room and just.
I only go to the emergency room if I really need to go to the emergency room. Like I'm one of those that are like, hospital is designed for the emergencies only. Everything else I can.
If you're bleeding or something.
Exactly, break, bleed, or like constantly passing out, like.
Or unless you've been sick for too long. Like if you've had like a cold for like 2 weeks, you gotta go see a doctor.
Yeah, doctor usually is just for colds or a small issue like, oh, what's this rash, what's this bruise that's not going away, you know, minor things, and then they go, oh, maybe do this or that and whatnot.
Or internal stuff. You've got like a stomach something or anything, just go see a doctor.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just a bit of a pain now. You got to deal with that, all these costs. But no, I don't know why we're talking about medical. We got talking about medical thanks to Prime. Talking about medical.
We're not medical experts, so don't take us for.
That's why I had to cut out some of the stuff I was saying too in my review, because I had to cut some of that stuff out because like I'm not a medical professional and I'm not like a fitness person, so I have no degree to like say what half these things are and what to and not do.
You're not a fitness person.
So yeah, I'm not a
like you're not a PT or a trained physician or anything.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, I can't be talking about these things.
I'm not a fitness person.
What else? There's a few other things that were up there. I mean, we had the State of Unreal happened a couple of days ago, and they showed off a few trailers there and stuff. They're working on like Lords of the Fallen. There was like Project M they showed off, but the two biggest things they dropped from that was the update. Well, actually three biggest things was the update to their Unreal 5.2, and it's apparently a lot more flushed out and a bit more smoother and easier to operate. They showed more on the metahuman stuff, and they
that was the Senua, and that wasn't it, like Senua,
and they showed a lot of that Senua stuff, and then they finally dropped, which I've been saying for a while. They finally dropped it now for the public, which people are like, oh, what's this thing? Unreal Editor for Fortnite. So they finally dropped that as well. So I'm
after a lot of people had it for last year or so.
Like I said, people have had it because I can compare to now, because like the things that they've been showing off now, what you can make, it's just like when you're looking back at like the Kid Leroy event and other kind of events that they've been made, it's just like these things they're making, you can do that in this engine, and people are showing you how to make it. And like the last thing we had as well with the Witcher. There was the Witcher event kind of stuff, and there was literally 5 maps. There's like 4 or 5 maps that matched with the runes that were the castle, the school, and it was funny because like they literally had like copy to paste for these 5 different like levels, but then when you go into them, there's like different changes to them. It's like, well, the only way you would do that so easily is you'd have the one file, you share it, you'd build it all up working in a team, and then you'd share it across the different teams to then make the different changes. Because it's exactly 100% exactly the same with each one. It's just one area's got like half destruction, the other one's more built up, this one has a few trials set up everywhere. It's like, it's all the one thing, and it's made by the studio. I'm like, it's because these studios have had access to the engine, because when you look at it too, it's like it's in beta. It's like UEFN beta, but it's version 24.01. I'm like, bro, that's clearly been around long enough. And it's just like, because I've always wondered for a long time. I think
they're trying to iron out bugs in that as well for the general public.
Trying to finally come to the public. And I'm like, because people are like, oh my god, how are these people making these things so quickly? It's like, no, it's because people have had these things and they're now listing it under UEFN advertisement builds and releasing them out to the public. It's like I said, the Killer Roy event, all these other events, the Witcher event, like, they've been all built in UEFN. All the mechanics these things have are the exact mechanics we've been seeing now in the trailers. They've had months to do it, like they've had months and years to be working on this stuff. Because I'm like, there's maps that I've been playing on doing creative. Like, I know how creative works building in that mode with the phone and everything. And I've played so extensively trying to build stuff. I'm like, the stuff I've done in that, it was way different to what these people have been dropping. It was like, there's no way they've been building in-game, because the way they've been doing all these extra mechanics, and that's the thing too, adding in mechanics where you walk up to a station, command codes start happening, so you interact with something, a code runs out. You can't do those codes, like coding, in the game's engine. All you can do is like, here's an island, place these items, place objects, boom, done. That's all you can do. Then how are these people adding in
That's
models?
pretty much it.
Because you got like the Kid Laroi event for it. Like coming back to that again, I'm just gonna. It's the easiest one to mention because it's the most recent one. Is you've got crowd models of other player character models in the crowd jumping and waving around. You can't animate that in the default engine, but yet this was made by a public creator, of the community. It's like, well, the only reason they could make that is because they've used this new engine. It's like you can't copy. Cause I'm always like,
Hence
how?
being 24.1.
Yeah.
It's been around for the last year or two. Like,
It could be 24, could be each month
only
they drop
certain
a new
people have
version.
it.
So it could have been around for 24 months. And that's why I feel like it might have been 2 years because just the way the maps I've seen for the last
I don't think. I
year.
mean, it could have been. When
I
was
think
that
last
Matrix
year.
demo out?
That was last year, year before, early last year. Unreal Engine 5, but UEFN does use Unreal Engine 5, but it's one of those things.
Right.
I don't know. It's just one of those things where people are just like, oh, and they clickbait, and it's like it's not. It's like it's been out. Like all these things we've seen. Like it's nothing new.
Well,
So-
there was another thing that Unreal released
great
as
that
well
we've got
was Metahuman.
Yeah, that's what I was saying before. The Metahuman. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
the
actually
Metahuman
with the
was what you were talking
iPhone.
about. It was
iPhone.
Yeah,
Using
yeah.
the iPhone. That's so cool that you can use the
Yeah,
iPhone.
real time facial
real-time-
modeling.
When did your room go dark?
Hey, my
Mine.
room.
Dez's.
Well, mine was already dark. His was Wookie's
It
was
was
dark
already
too.
dark.
Wookie's was dark as well, but he had his light off, and now he's turning the light on now. So his is lit up.
That's
Mine's
weird.
dark. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say though. Did you watch that presentation?
Yeah, I watched bits of it, and it was with the iPhone there, and basically the technology, like before, it took like weeks to try and get facial modeling done, and with their new program, you can do it with a mobile phone and get it done in
I
instantly.
did notice a cheeky kind of already pre-set up note, like when they were flicking through that. So when they record
always
it,
do that.
like they already had the
Yeah, yeah.
re-script. They had to read out like her on stage voice camming the thing and reading out the line. You could already see they already had pre-recorded because they had already had the video popped up in the bottom, and they're like, "Oh, we've just input this here." And when I watched the dude click, there was like an input thing. He's like, "Oh, he just clicked and highlighted it with like when you do an edit highlight, and he just clicked and double clicked the highlight and just highlight text." He's like, "We've input this here." It's like, bro, all you did was like highlight the bar, double click so it highlighted the text, and then you just. Oh, I've done something. And then played the video, which they'd already recorded because there's another video they showed when they were flicking between face models, but she was doing the same lines she had already done, like, on stage, but they were trying to make it out like she did that. But it's like, bro, that's not the same.
They
But they
always,
did show,
yeah.
but the worst part was they did show a live recording of her mouthing, like, doing the thing, and then they're like, oh, there's this other version of this with a high-rendered model. It's like, you literally just show her doing it, and then you're trying to shortcut it and be like, oh, this is what we did in this split time too. It's like, you did something cool, and then you did something bad. It's just like, bro, you're already showing off something cool, and you're like trying to double down on it, and doubling down just made it worse. It's just like did you have to?
It's
it happens.
I do find that impressive.
Technology and software.
That's what I mean though. Like the doing the whole iPhone thing was great, and that's what I'm saying. When they doubled down, being like, here's what you can do. I feel like that took away from it when they were like, here, you can do this cool thing with the iPhone. And it's like, but then there was this. It's just like you've just taken away the whole iPhone being the new way of like how you can capture face, because that was amazing, like how it rendered the models. Like that was just from a front-on recording, and it had the whole model because you could see like they matched up, and it was actually properly matched up with her face. Like there was no different comparison between the two. It literally had scanned her face, and they were doing the slide bar across the two of them, and you could actually see it. Like you see a real face, and it was recorded with the studio behind her. Like you could actually see it. It was all actual legit. Like it wasn't pre-recorded. Like so.
Yeah, it was really impressive, and I think that it makes it easier for independent studios, developers to kind of like go, hey, look, they can grab that and they can put it in their games and bring their games to the next level just by
A lot of
using
developers need that.
Another good thing too is
exactly.
like, oh shit, sorry,
Making it
you
cheaper.
could have somewhere you'd like done recordings, you'd be like, oh fuck, we missed this scene, can you re-record this for us? And they can be like, yeah, sure, let me just mount up my phone and just be like, while they're out or in their home, be like, just mount out a sentence with the thing and remodel a new thing and then just send it to them. Like, they can literally just do things on the go now. Like, they can be like, oh, we need this 20 seconds of, like, can you record for 30 seconds of you just doing this action for us? If the take you had didn't work out or something going on, can you just send us that file? It's like, yep, sweet, just scan it, boom, send it off. Like, if you can use
when
an iPhone,
developers actually get it, because the Callisto protocol, like striking distance studios, had to use like Sony's mocap stuff because they couldn't do it themselves.
yeah, they had to do that exactly.
But if they had that kind of tech, like for the next game, they could do it all in house. Like,
and that's what
exactly.
Sonora has.
It makes it a
Sonora's
lot
all built on
easier.
that.
I think like a lot of studios
just a face
want-
though, isn't it? At the moment, like just a face. It's not
Yeah,
like a
face
even
full.
was
with
all-
that's still like perfect for indies. These studios.
The
Yeah,
other
yeah.
one was
basements.
another game that's working on it was, as I said before, was Project M. They're doing big. Project M is based on the metahuman. It's strongly put on that. That's why I think that's maybe what's called Project M, because was talking about the whole metahuman stuff.
Project Meta.
Yeah, so it was dealing a lot with that as well, because there's a lot of it faces stuff with that, with the voice matching and doing all that record. Like, which is great. We're going to see more of that. And like, hey,
I mean, it's
maybe
about time. We went over this like 10, 20 years ago.
maybe now that we have like Halo jumping, like 343 jumping over with working on Unreal Engine 5, hey, yeah, I know it does half the work, but maybe we might actually get something decent now with actual facial
No, I'm pretty
recognition.
sure the next Halo game's by someone else. Now,
well, they're making it on Unreal Engine 5 though.
yeah, but I think they're getting someone else to do it or help with 343.
But like I said,
so
I mean, the shit we've seen with Unreal Engine, Unreal Engine 5, like, bruh, it's gonna, like, Halo can't go
yeah,
wrong
but it's
now.
up to
Like,
the devs to utilize that though. That's the fucking problem.
it's pretty easy to utilize. Like, that's the thing though. It's really easy, especially with the whole
devs...
pop-in environments and stuff. Like,
game engines are easy to use now, and look at half the fucking games.
yeah, I know, but like, they did the wrong by trying to make their own
Unreal Engine
engine.
4 was easy to use. Fucking.
Oh, Unreal Engine 5 is even easier. Like, there was the ones that was for Infinismals, the Infinismals. They said they converted over from Unreal Engine 4 to 5. Infinismals. It's like grounded in small. What's the other small lands? But they were talking about in that video as well.
What's it called? Infinismals. It's not even a thing.
Infinismals, yeah, infinite smalls, it's infinite and animals combined together. Infinimals. It's really weird. Just type in infinite, and then take off the E, and then put where I is in animals, and put moles at the end. So infinimals.
Oh my god, that is worse. That's infinitesimal.
Yeah, it's the worst.
Infinimals?
I don't know why you would call a game that.
Like,
Like, but like literally that they said themselves in that trailer saying that they were working on Unreal Engine 4 and they converted to 5, and 5's been way better for their workload, 100%. Like, just working with everything has just improved tenfold because it's so much easier to use.
The captain's name you play as though?
It's a weird alien.
Orkney Relenrake.
Some weird alien guy, yeah, and I think he shapeshifts, or you can play as flies and insects and stuff. You can play as bugs.
It's pretty much a tech demo, really, of Unreal Engine 5. Like,
but it's gonna be it's a game they're working on. It's an indie dev studio working on. But no, ironically enough, I actually want to bring up as well. So, I think I told Jim this. I'll tell you this anyway, Wookie. So I had an issue yesterday where I reacted. So I loaded up all their metahuman videos and the Fortnite stuff, and I recorded a whole bunch of reacts. So I sat there and recorded, like, watched 5 or 6 different videos, and like, because I matched them together and just like kept going recording. I recorded like maybe an hour's worth of footage of all this stuff, and then I had earlier trying out the UEFN because I was actually playing out some of their demos that they had put up. So I did a playthrough of those, did reacts to those. That's fine, and I clipped stuff after it. I don't know what the fuck happened, but all those videos were working originally, and only those 4 videos that I record of hours of content and like for reacts that I needed to edit had all got corrupted.
Oh.
I was like, what the fuck happened? I ended up just deleting it all now because I was like, fuck it, it's all corrupted. But I was like, why the fuck only these 4 videos specifically get corrupted? I've never had anything really corrupt on my computer. Maybe like when I'm transferring stuff, but I literally did not transfer it anywhere. It was literally recorded, stored into the video file, like folder it's put into. But for somewhere along the line, they got corrupted, and I could not access any of those videos.
That spider tech's so cool.
I was like, God damn it! Like, I did these reacts, and I was like, my content's corrupted. I was like, fuck it, delete all of it. But videos before it was fine, videos after it was fine. It's just those videos for that specifically Unreal. I was like, bro, are they like on my computer? But like, we can't allow this guy to upload these reacts. We don't like his reacts. Hack him. They docked me like fucking bam. Like, it's just weird that those specific files, like one, like I don't know, it was like just fucked. 2 of them I couldn't even open at all.
Were any of those videos that were corrupted say anything regarding the Chinese government?
TikTok.
Maybe. Hey there, TikTok.
Yeah, that's the point of it.
I don't know. It was just weird. I was just like, that was just weird that it's just like they all got those 4
It was a bruh moment.
Those 4 got corrupted. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, conspiracy theorist was like going overbrain. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? But no, not really. But no, it was just
secretly you were putting interweaving into the videos about something about the Epstein, suicide.
corrupted
That's
file.
what I didn't want. Yeah, corrupted file.
But I was like, God damn it! I was like, But no, it was just weird that happened. What else have I got here that I was wanted to mention? Any of you guys watched the new Power Rangers trailer for Once and Always?
Yes,
No.
and I want to watch it.
How good! It's coming to Netflix.
I
It looks so
was
good.
slightly disappointed that the Green Ranger wasn't in
He's
it.
in it. He
but
is.
He is.
Yes, there's a scene because I was thinking that at first
So
because
they put the Green Ranger in there.
yes, he's in the movie. I don't know if it's I don't know if it's because they said it was 30 years in the making. I don't know if they
Yeah.
filmed it before if they filmed stuff before he passed or not.
I heard that he was invited to it and he said that he didn't want to because he was too busy doing something else.
Because I know he was working on his Power Ranger movie that they're still releasing.
Yeah.
Like
that one I'm looking out for
He's
as well.
there, which again has some of the original cast in it as well. But like that was his side project. That wasn't an official Power Rangers movie, but it is Power
No.
Rangers. Like it's a fan made Power Ranger, but like it's still Power Rangers, which I'm keen to see. But like the fact that they've got the official Power Rangers with the original cast is pretty cool. Like, and it looks like they've gone back to the original set locations as well, possibly.
Yeah.
look like.
They've got a lot of it, and it's. I'm looking forward to it, and I'll be like jumping on the Netflix and watching it.
But yeah, it was a really
yeah.
small scene in the trailer. So in the recent trailer, there's a part where you see them all like running, and there's like I think it was like the explosion happening behind them, and you do see a glimpse of the Green Ranger. Because like, it's the Green Ranger in this, and you see like all
Where's
running.
Tommy?
Yeah, and you see him in the green with the gold shoulder pads, and like you see him running in the formation in the stretch. I'm like, oh, it was just a very quick glimpse. So I don't know whether it was meant to be like a little teaser surprise they wanted to keep in the movie, or if it was like, oh, they just slipped it in, or I don't know, because they didn't really focus on it until you see that one scene. So I mean, he could be just wearing the gear. It could be just someone wearing the gear, and he's not actually in it. And they could have grabbed sound clips, maybe. I don't know what they've done. We won't know until we see it. But I did see him in the movie, so like the Green Ranger at least. So we don't know.
Yeah, Power Rangers is always like one of those shows that I grew up watching, like the very original Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're the best.
that
That's
was
so
like
good.
and it brought back those memories. I'm like, oh man, I remember watching that. So it's I'll be definitely tuning in for it on Netflix.
Yeah, because that's soon too.
Yeah, it's very soon. I'm looking forward to that. What else? There was like, you got anything else? No.
Pokemon.
Pokemon.
Oh yeah, Pokemon. That's it.
Pokemon. The last episode was just recently aired in Japan.
Oh yeah.
Of the last episode with Ash in it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like what, 20 years, 25 years?
26,
Ash.
wasn't it?
Yeah,
26.
26 years, of Ash being in Pokemon.
Finally done.
So it was like the last time he's done. Like they're taking him out of the storyline. So he went back home and saw Professor Oak and everyone. And
That's a long ass time.
He wakes up
It
from the
is,
coma.
it
It's him
is.
waking up from the coma.
yeah, that was the joke. Him waking
They'd
up from
actually
the
like,
coma.
there's like, imagine if they like actually like confirmed it. And it's like he
It's
wakes
like
up.
that Walking Dead theory that Rick's in a coma the whole fucking.
Yeah.
But
What is that? No, but it's weird. Like the ending that they gave him is spoiler alert. Was he goes back home, but then he's not in the series anymore, but he's still like the last scene is him and Pikachu go, oh, let's go on another adventure, and you just
Oh
don't.
god.
And you're like, oh, okay, yeah, it would be nice if he just.
Wait, if he did that 26 years, he'll be in his like 30s, 40s.
Yeah, well, he's
30,
a
40.
10-year-old stuck at being a 10-year-old for the last 26 years, so
It's like
but
it's like the Simpsons. Like he got Bart being that age for like 30 years. So.
Yeah. All they did was change his clothes. They didn't change his age, which was really weird. It was good. It would have been better if they I don't know. It was still a nice ending from what I've checked out. It would have been nice if they gave him his own gym, so that
Became
means
like a leader.
kind of gym leader.
Kind of
and
like,
just go to his hometown.
Become like Brock and shit, just
Yeah,
sit
that
in
would
the gym
actually
all
be
day.
It's kind of open ended. They gave it they can maybe just put him in another movie.
Well, I wouldn't count him out coming back then.
They could make him as like a cameo or something. Most
somewhere.
probably. That's what they'd leave. So
Somewhere.
they can have him as cameo.
It's like any person dying in some kind of cartoon or something or a movie. He just never goes away if you don't see the body. Right? Am I right?
Mm.
You don't see the body if you don't see the grave. It's
Do you really ever die?
They never really die. But
Ash
it's a
didn't die.
cartoon,
He
they
just
never
walked
really
off
die.
into the sunset.
Oh, that's that's
To
the thing
another
with
adventure.
cartoons.
So,
Your favorite cartoon characters never really die. They just fade away. Right?
but is he still 10?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to go into that. That's really no. It's a cartoon. They never grow up, do they? Unless they write it in. But
But everyone else,
anyone
it
yeah,
was weird.
in that?
Yeah, like every other one else kind of aged, but he didn't. It was like weird.
yeah, like you said,
Is Ash
Simpsons or
is Ash immortal? Like,
I don't know. It's weird.
stunted child that just never grew because he's
yeah, like that is what it took a bump to the head, and it like
He just said he's 10 just to get away with it, but he's like,
I mean,
Yeah,
he did
yeah,
get shocked a fair few times in the early days, so
he's like 36 years. Well, no,
I am
yeah,
10.
36 years
And
old.
everyone's just gone, yeah. Everyone that actually knows him's like, yeah.
Yeah, he's 10. Yeah, it's like 50-year-old guy that's just yeah. He didn't go on another adventure. He just died. Old
he
age.
just
No,
he died and he got replaced.
no, he died on the way walking to his next adventure, and Pikachu ate him.
Pikachu,
And,
Pikachu fucking shocked him so hard he just died, and they just had to get a fucking fill in.
Who
Like,
knows?
Well, that
But,
was the
yeah,
joke of the whole
I-
coma thing, was that first shock Pikachu did to him, put him in the coma. Like, that was the joke.
well, right at the start of the first
Yeah, when he
episode,
first
just
got,
bam.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was the point. Like, when he first got lightning bolt by Pikachu, that's when he ended up in the coma. And everything from there was just Ash in that dream state that he was in a coma the whole time.
For
and everything
26 fucking years.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure if you're in coma for that long, they just pull your plug and you're just gonna die. But
Well, I mean, he could have been
like
like
10 years or something.
Well, I mean, he could have been in a coma. Like I said, he could have been in the coma only for like a year or 2 years, but 26 years had passed. Like, you know,
That's
Like-
true. That's true.
yeah.
to him, he did all this stuff and lived his massive life. But
It's like being in a time dilation bubble. It's just it's like 26 years is only like 10 days in real life.
It feels like with these shows that like all them 26 years could have been one in-game year, like not in-game, one in-show year.
yeah,
That's true. But we'll never know. It's like how Dragon Ball, like 5 minutes in their time was actually
week.
like to us was like
Or 1 minute.
8 episodes.
yeah, because they're moving super
just
fast.
to get up that spirit
We're
bomb,
seeing all this stuff that's happening super, but like exactly because real time, like everything they're doing, like the spirit bomb, the Kamehamehas are like instant like attacks that are happening split fast speeds, but they're showing us like slowed down moments, and we're hearing like so. Imagine if like half the shit that's going on when they're like doing all these combats and everything's
No,
dialogue.
Spirit Bomb that's in real time, but he just stands there for an hour going,
Yeah, but like,
Yeah,
some of
yeah,
the, but like,
exactly.
say some of the stuff they say, like they're having these fights that are going high speeds. So imagine some of the moments where they're having these battles, like in the show where we're seeing them going like, "Frieza, I'm going to get you," doing all these things, and then in real time they just like,
oh, but you actually do see that.
Yeah,
You see
yeah,
they go
yeah.
dung, 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 dung,
But
dung,
that's,
dung,
that's
dung,
what I'm saying.
dung.
Like, imagine like they're talking fast as well. Like everything is happening in hyper speed. So we're seeing everything slow down. The talking, the shooting, everything. And then there's Krillin just standing there watching him, and then it's just like, huh, and you hear his, and it's just blast flying everywhere and just zapping around like,
But which
Like
shows
the-
we
like
can't
the
really
straight blast.
determine the real time frame of any animated series or anything like that.
Because I mean,
It's
even
all- yeah.
even I said before, like with Pokemon, I tried breaking it down and how it would work, and like I've said, like if you were to break like every episode down to being like a day, but there's points where there's episodes being like this happened, then 1 week later, it's like, god damn it, you can't even go with that theory that each episode's a day, because even if you add that up, it's like each episode works out
And
to
there's
being
like
like
multiple nights.
working even out to
always-
being like 5 years. So even if you were to each episode with those being weeks and stuff like that, being like
no
5
show you
years, he
can
should
nail
be
like
like
that, though,
he should at
because
least be
they all
15
jump.
nearly 20. Like he should have aged no matter what maths you go into. He should have aged. Like
Yeah, that's
even
true.
if they
Or he
went out-
just
even if they
ages
logically,
really
like-
well because he's
like that's the worst problem. Like they kept him as 10. It's
'Cause
just
I'm
like
Asian.
you couldn't even aged him like through the show being like he's now 11, he's now 12. Like he's still like close to a 10-year. Have you seen 10-year-olds? Like, could you imagine a 10-year-old in real life? Like, if this was a real life situation, would you allow 10-year-olds to go off on adventures like that? I don't think anyone would.
Yeah, but remember, this is a Japanese cartoon, and Asian people age differently. Like,
Yeah.
my mum's 70 and she looks like she's 36. Who knows? So, who's to say? And considering timelines
But
for animated series, like you said, it could be 26 years, but in fact, it could have only been like 3 years in the in the lifespan of anime, and that
Yeah.
means he wouldn't have actually aged that much.
He should have, like, they
Like,
never acknowledge it. They always acknowledge that he's 10. It's like, you couldn't have acknowledged that he aged by 2 years and call him 12 or
That's
13.
why
Like,
Dragon Ball's an example. All these sagas in the span of that,
yeah.
like it's just it's one after another. But in the
yeah,
in the show, it's dragged. Like
Yeah.
it's dragged on, but also
I
they do
feel for those
also
people in
have
their
those
Dragon Ball
time
universe.
jumps. There are the time
Like-
jumps which do show.
But,
but they do age though.
Yeah,
But, like, could you imagine living in the Dragon Ball universe? Like, because if you go from Dragon Ball itself, you have Goku when he's young. So you had all this shit happen, and then for, like, the span of 20, 30 years, nothing. It was just nice. And then, bam, you have all this shit go on for, like, a year or so, just crap. It's just like, this person's here to attack this. This person doing this. This person doing that. It's like, imagine how fucked it would be living like that. Like, being like, oh, what a nice time, like, for 30 years, and then just, like, a whole year of just shit. Freezer invading,
Yeah.
Cell invading, Boo invading, fucking Freezer's back again, future travel,
I'll-
androids, like, all this shit's going on. Like, fuck!
not, not just that. There would be also other things that you're thinking of. Is remember when Piccolo blew up the moon?
Yeah, things like that happening as well. Like,
There's
imagine...
blow up the moon when parts of the planet blew up when there were fights.
Yeah.
When pretty much when everyone dies and then miraculously gets brought back because of the Dragon Balls. Like, there's so many instances where just being a civilian, an NPC in that world
Would be
like,
fucked up.
you'd kind of go, what the hell? But then there's times where it's like peaceful. Where it's like they have the tournament on.
And
And
everyone's like for it.
after Cell. Everyone's like, oh, happy. But then also you've got, technology in that universe where it's just, Capsule Corp. They've got, everything being capsules and everything like that. It's, I don't know,
It'd be a weird world to live in. Like, it'd be really
weird
weird.
world.
Like, I'd feel like you'd be kind of traumatized. Like, I mean, the stuff we live with now, like, a lot of us deal with depression and anxieties and shit after dealing with the world. Imagine living in those worlds. How much more worse that would be. Like,
not just that. Then there's the Marvel universe where it's like, all right,
Yeah.
half of everyone
half
dies.
of everyone got snapped out of existence, and then they're back.
In the
like,
latest ones, there's like a giant, statue picking out half the planet.
yeah, well,
from
that was like,
Eternals.
yeah, that was pretty funny. I do like the meme though. It's like, what about the other end? What does the other side seeing? Like, but like, you just see this giant like, brrr, like, oh fuck, what is this? Just staring at,
Yeah, being an NPC in any of those worlds, you'd be like, yeah, it'd be cool.
Oh,
I'll be
the
in
whole
Marvel
Boo saga's
world.
in one day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something happens in one day. Like,
But animation can do that. Movies can do that. I think the only consistent
It's like a shit
TV
week.
universe where it's like time for time is the 24 series.
The same saga is a year and 2 days.
God.
But like I said, just any TV
Oh, yeah, because wasn't the
universe
wait
like
for
that, unless
wasn't
they
because that was the wait for the
chronically-
Saiyans to
Because
come.
they were coming back.
Because they were coming and we were like, oh, we're gonna bring Goku back, and it took him like a year to come back, wasn't it? After dying, because they had to get the Dragon Balls and then bring Goku back, and it took like a year. But it's just fucked up.
The Frieza arc was a year.
Went for a whole year.
The Cell saga was 3 years.
While you do that, I'm gonna go drop a 9,000 in the
The
toilet.
Boo arc begins on March 28th, 774, and ends May 9th, age 774.
So much shit going on. But yeah, it's just fucking wild. What else?
Crazy how, like, it's so much time. That's why it seems like Gohan grows up and shit. Like,
Yeah, exactly. We'll easily see him
like,
grow up.
you can tell how much time goes because Gohan gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, Gotenks stays the same.
And that's a little bit slower. Like, it slows down a bit.
Because Gotenks was in DBZ, but in Super, it's still only, like, little. He's still... Same as Trunks. When Trunks was, I mean, it was future Trunks in Cell Saga and that, but, like, was Trunks even born then? I can't remember. No, he wasn't. That would make sense.
He was born around the time.
Because I know Super picks up just after Z, like, literally just after Boo.
Yeah. Oh man, that's not
How
right.
do we get to Dragon Ball?
Oh, we just did. What else have you? What else have you got, Jim? Did you have
Did we say the Battlefield stuff last week or this week?
No, it happened this week. I think it happened this week, didn't it?
I think because it all blends.
I was going to talk
I
about
wasn't
it, but
sure.
I messaged you about it, but I was like, do we want to talk about it? I mean,
Yeah, we'll
looks
just
like
say
it's
that
just delisting
EA is delisting Bad Company 1 and 2 and
Mirror's Edge and a few other
1942 or something, 43.
1942. Is it 1943?
I think it was one of them two games, but they're going, and the servers
Digitally.
get cut off in December.
Yeah.
Servers for 2042 have already been shut down. Last time I heard.
Wait, 2042?
2042.
That's the latest one.
No.
No, that wasn't the latest one. That one's been out for like 20 years now.
Are we on 2042 or 2142?
10 years.
No, 2142 was the old one.
Was it?
Yeah, 2042 is this one.
Because
The last
there's
one.
1942, and then there's 2142, and then the latest one is 2042.
Yeah, they went back in time again.
Yeah, it was like mid between.
Weird.
No, it was like past, and then future, and then present kind of thing. Like.
Yeah, so they're getting delisted from digital storefronts very soon, and their servers getting shut down for online in December. So,
okay.
want your trophies for the games and achievements? Get them now.
Yep.
Because them servers be gone.
Fully going all together. So you've been lucky enough to get on there and get some.
I only got like one good one. I haven't played yet. I haven't played Battlefield Bad Company 2 yet.
I know.
I got to grind those out. Also, Elden Ring got an interesting update. Added ray tracing, which is weird. Like for Elden Ring, I was like, but it's just forest and that. Like, there's nothing really metallic in that game or anything like reflection. It's all just bricks and castles and that. Like, there's no mirrors. There's no like puddles. I don't think. Unless you see yourself from your sword.
Lighting.
Also, CD Projekt Red cancelled a Witcher game.
Cancelled.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they cancelled a Witcher game. But a screenshot what it was exactly, but they didn't name what it was. It could have been the whole remake of the first one. Who knows? But it was. They're reevaluating an upcoming Witcher game in development. They filed for an impairment charge for the Molasses Floods upcoming Witcher game, codenamed Sirius, which means the company wants to write off assets that have been dropped in value or been lost completely.
Interesting.
Okay, that's interesting.
Mm.
Damn. Sounds like it might have been.
Which means the first thing I thought was Sony's buying them. Better get rid of all these assets, trying to get a bit of market shit back.
Yeah.
That's what companies do. Like, they sell off some things, get a bit of revenue up, then get bought. Like, Activision did it before this old shit.
It would make sense. I mean, CDPR would make sense to go on with PlayStation, with the quality that PlayStation.
Him and Take-Two. I still believe Take-Two was in talks to get bought by him.
Yeah.
That'd be fucking weird. I mean, that'd be cool. Get Sony's money as well as their own, like what happened in the Bungie,
better
like
proper supported funding and stuff like that. I mean, it'd be good for
Exactly.
CDPR because they've had the stock investors. We've seen what happens with what the investors did, and I think you need some better support than
you
relying on
need
those
some
investors that are like, oh, we're gonna do
Sony
this.
executives or PlayStation ones to, because they've been doing good things for the last 15, 20 years, and to get those to oversee some of their stuff will be good for them.
Exactly.
Which, I'm not really fussed. I don't care that Activision got bought, really, or getting bought.
I know, it's just funny to watch.
Microsoft actually need them. To be fair, like.
Oh no, it's another one they need because Microsoft's just doing shit. Be interesting to see what happens. It'd be interesting to see if some of the old servers they bring servers
it's gonna
back.
be interesting because they're gonna inherit like 12 publishers, not publishers, like 12 dev teams. And if they're spitting out 2 games a year with all these fucking teams, there's something fucking wrong.
Yeah. Be interesting to see if they bring anything new to the table.
I'm pretty sure, Bethesda are pumping out a shit ton of games where no one on the other side is.
It'd be funny though if that joke finally happens where everyone's saying, "Oh, Activision needs to make a Halo game next minute." fucking they put.
I wouldn't be surprised if they got the COD teams to make Halo.
That's what I'm
Like,
saying. Like I wouldn't miss it because that was always a joke back in the day, and that'd be funny if that ended up actually happening now. It's actually come to fruition.
it's just
Activision.
weird how they bought all of Activision Blizzard when they just wanted the mobile department. They could have saved all this stress and shit and just said, we just want the mobile part, just want King.
Well, they get that, and they get COD as well. So
Yeah, but they just wanted the mobile division.
they say that.
Remember? Like,
Yeah. But sometimes they say one thing and do another.
oh yeah.
No, not really. No.
Have you watched the Phil Spencer video?
No.
He's having
no.
an interview, and he's like, literally, he's talking like this, like, oh yeah, we want to bring stuff to the company, and we want to help PlayStation, and we want to bring everything to PlayStation, and you know, we love doing stuff. We want to help out Nintendo. We want to help out Nintendo. He literally is talking, and his head bouncing around every time he brings up PlayStation and Nintendo. His head goes from this to start doing this. He starts going, literally,
No.
I picked it out, and we'll watch it after. Literally, you'll watch it. We'll go through it, and you now have told you this.
And the
You see him
funny part
talking at the
was his
front.
fucking eyeballs say a different story.
He's bobbing like this, and his eyes light up, and he's just like, no.
He's like-
I like it. Looked like he could be having like Parkinson's, like a little bit of shakes going on. I know, like he's got little shakes going. You think, oh, he's just got a bit of shakes.
no, but it
happening.
was only when he was talking about
But
certain
as
things.
soon as you see him start talking certain things, you see his head go from like this, bob around to this, to
Nothing,
talking like that.
nothing against Phil, but like,
No, I
Are
was
you
like,
saying we
bruh.
should play a poker game against him because it'd be really easy to tell
Yeah.
what cards he's got?
Yeah, I reckon. It's like I don't have a set of. Like, we'll watch it after the podcast. It's fucking hilarious.
Okay, yeah. No, I just figured it would be like one of those plays where it's like, oh, we want this, but they actually nitpick and grab other stuff as well, and
that means-
they grab all the good shit that they want from all these little bits,
and kill it.
and then and just kill it, and then just make it into one company.
I'm wondering now
Like
they've got it.
Jerry
Does
Pitt.
that mean Bobby Kotick gonna be? Is it Bobby Kotick?
Bobby Kotick will get a massive payout April 30th, or around that time, I reckon, and he'll be gone. I think that's the reason I want to get bought. I want to get rid of fucking Bobby, like, because he was bringing it way down.
Well, that's what
They're bringing
Activision
it
wanted.
way down.
That's what Activision wanted to be bought for. Was they wanted him out, and said the only way to get him out was to be bought up.
Which is kind of stupid. They could have just fired him, really. Like,
That's weird.
they all could have just revolted. Like, he's a fucking bad human. Like, Jesus Christ. He shouldn't be running the company. Should not be running the company.
Yeah, shouldn't be running the company.
They
It's freaking hilarious.
got the fuck in my head. It's just,
What else we got here?
Like,
I mean,
it was
we're
only
on
subtle
good
thing, like-
timing so far. We haven't gone off the rails yet.
Oh,
Don't-
hold up, Jim! I got something for you.
Don't want to go too much off the rails.
So
though.
there's this book that I've come across.
Yeah, no, he's gonna bring this up.
Because I like to read a few books here and there, especially books with a little bit of history behind it, a little bit of controversy, maybe. Like I own this book called Hitman: A Technical Manual for Independent Contractors. Right?
oof.
It's a bit of a mouthful, but there's a story behind it where there's a lot of details in there, like how to make a silencer, how to if you're going to kill someone, if they've got dogs, how to deal with dogs, etc., etc. It was published back in 1983, and it was out for a while. There was like probably 30,000 copies in circulation, up to the point back until 1993, where basically a triple murder was committed, and they pointed to the book saying it gave us all the details we needed to commit.
So
these
it pretty
murders.
much just done
Yeah.
fucked up.
Yeah, so
That whole thing.
yeah, so basically,
Wow.
cut story short, the book was pretty much blamed, so the publishers had to like kind of go, we ain't making this book anymore. Let's destroy all existing copies.
But why'd they make it in the first place? Like, that's just fucked.
So basically, there was only 13,000 copies sold, but even though they claim there's about 20 to 30,000 copies still in circulation. So the book itself is somewhat hard to get, like original copy. You can still get PDF copies, get it on Kindle, all that kind of stuff on Amazon. But the book still gives you detail on how to make, mid silencers, etc., etc. And it is essentially what, the book is like said to go, be made by a previous Hitman, all that kind of stuff. So I've got a copy myself. I've managed to pick it up for like, original copy, pretty cheap, back in the day. I think
Damn.
it's still retailing, like, I think a bookstore in the States is still selling it like an original copy for like $200 US, which is not
That's
bad.
not bad.
It's not bad, but that's an original copy. Like I said, you can get it on Kindle or secondhand. Some secondhand copies I've seen as cheap as $50. But they might be reprints.
Yeah.
Or something like that. So like $90. Not claiming that it's actually an original copy. But besides that book, another book that I've come across I want to get my hands on, I haven't managed to get it though, is called The Secret Treasure Hunt. So essentially, the story of this book, this was released back in 1982, and it's an actual treasure hunting book. Created by Byron Press, sadly passed away in 2005 from a car
That name
accident.
sounds familiar.
Famous author.
Yeah.
Publishing career. He had a publishing company. Did a bunch of books like Dragon World, The Worlds of Ganti, Dragon World. You can check him up. And essentially he died in 2005 from a car accident, but his wife and his daughters kept the idea going for the treasure hunt book, because the book had a series of poems and illustrations that were in the book, and there was 12 all up. And the illustrations matched with the poems, and they would lead you to treasure that was actually buried around the US.
Damn.
So you would find
the whole of US, like just around it, like just anywhere.
All of US.
Jesus.
So there's one buried in San Francisco, one buried in South Carolina, North Carolina, Idaho. There was one in Idaho, Cleveland, Chicago, Florida, Texas, Wisconsin.
Has any been found though, or
Quebec,
you just don't know?
Louisiana, Massachusetts, and New York. So
Jesus.
there's 12 of them out there. They're in ceramic pots kind of thing, and there's a key inside. That key is for proof, and it'll go to a safe deposit box where there's a jewel inside. And that jewel was back in 1980s was worth $1,000.
A lot more than that now.
Yeah, well, it's pretty much the book back in 1982, so it's been going for over 40 years now.
50?
About 40 years, 41 years. 41 years. So only 3 have been solved. The first one was back in 1983. The second one was done in 2004. And the latest one was done in 2019. That was found in Boston. So the first one was found in Chicago, then Cleveland, and then Boston. Only 3 have been found out of the 12. So if you can solve the riddles and find the buried treasure, you get to keep it. That's the purpose of the book. It was supposed to, encourage people to go on an adventure, you could say, and try and find this item.
Just have some fun doing it,
Yeah. That's essentially it. So you can still get the book. There's a lot of groups devoted to it. I wouldn't want to get my hands on the book just to give it a crack, just kind of.
So people are just trying to figure out, and then they'll just go looking for it, and
yeah, essentially. But because the book is quite old, and it was done in 1982. Considering it's been 40 years.
Some locations be different.
Locations maybe
could have been built on.
Built on. Well, considering
already dug up and shit.
Yeah, exactly. So one of the ones that was found was because they were doing a construction on that land, where it was hidden. So a lot of places, if you don't kind of look for it now, they'll never be found. Kind of thing.
Well,
even though
probably half of them already gone.
Well, that's the theory, but
because a lot of stuff in 40 years can happen.
Some of them were one of the ones that was found. It was in a park, so unless they started, tear down parks, then
I mean, some have just to put houses or something like a car park.
That's true, but they would have been found. They could be found. Like the ceramic pot with a key in it might be a bit suspicious. So, but
When was the
it's
last time
still
you
out
found
there.
like something random? You found a random key and be like, I don't know what this is for. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. It's like, oh, it's junk. Yeah, I'll just throw it out in the bin.
Right. Yeah.
It could be, the point. But the thing is, there's still technically treasure out there. There's still
I
people
know. I've always
devoted to
thought
trying
about it.
to
It would be kind of
track
cool to
these.
set something like that up. So when you died, like leave this
That
thing
be like
behind, and have
buried
this journey,
treasure.
yeah, and like have like this whole elaborate thing where there's people got to go on the quest, and if they
And the
find it,
trick is, you put
you
them
kind
on
of
the road.
knew. So if
put
you
them
found
on-
any item
Yeah.
like for the quest, you knew it was part of a quest. You knew if
Yeah.
anyone found it, if they just came across it, they didn't know what was going on, that'd still be identified to what it was connected to.
Yeah, there
It'd be
could be
cool.
a
To,
note inside
yeah, so there'd be
saying
a
what
note
it's
to it, or
for.
there'd be an
Yeah,
engraving. If you left a key, there's a small engraving on it that's saying it's part of some kind of journey. So like it's not just like things like solve the mystery, find the journey. And it's like, oh, what's this? What's this key? It's not just a random key going. Oh, there's actually an engraving on it. It has this like message on it. Like, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, this is for something. I need to find what this key means.
Yeah. Well, the last
leave a
one
little
was
note with
found
it.
because the
Hmm.
family it was a family that kind of went, oh, this would be fun for us to do. Find it. It's in our city. Might as well go out. And I think that's one of the good reasons to go out and kind of like reason why people would actually find it is because a lot of people. Okay, it goes back to an old saying I always heard was, "There's money everywhere. It's just some people are too lazy to pick it up."
Yeah.
So going into that direction, some people were kind of like, oh, it's a lot easier to be an influencer on TikTok or whatever, rather than actually going, hey, look, there's an actual treasure hunt in my local, in my city. Here's the book, here's the clues, here's the photo. Let's actually go out on a physical adventure and go check it out and see if we could find it. And I don't think enough people are actually going out and doing that type of like the mentality behind it, going out and actually going, hey, let's go look for physical treasure.
That's why I've
No, because
myself.
usually it's all bullshit,
Yeah, well,
except for
yeah.
that. Like,
That's why
Yeah.
myself personally, I'm trying to get back into like geocaching and stuff for that same kind of reason, getting out and going exploring and stuff. And that's one of the biggest things I'm thinking of doing for next month as well, doing that 5K walk thing, is using that, like blogging it as well, but then also do geocaching in the interim as well. So I can go somewhere, go for a walk around a location, and like go to a park, find a park, pull up there, get out and walk in the area and go walking to these spots to find the geocaches, blog it along the way,
exactly.
and get these steps up as well. So like that's another thing I'm thinking of doing for next month.
But saying at the opposite
That'd be
end
fun.
of what I'm saying with that kind of like going, oh, let's all go out and try and look at treasure in our local parks. It would look kind of sus if you're there in a park at, let's say, 2 a.m, because you're like kind of going, oh, I think that's the perfect time, with a shovel digging up a hole. So
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
also, there's a lot of private
Context.
property around now.
well, yeah, that's also the
That's
other
why I like
thing.
geocaching. Geocaching, I mean,
Ti-
it's more for the fun. You don't get much out of it, but geocaching scratches that itch if you want to even just do that. And then
Well,
there's
yeah,
not going to be
yeah.
no digging. It's all safe. It's easy. Like there are some weird spots where you can find them in gardens and weird locations and holes and stuff like that. But if you ever want to have the
Yeah.
scratch that itch, not just for the adventure, not for the money. Like that's the thing to do as well.
Yeah, I like to see more of that content. Truthfully, it's not just the geocaching, but people actually physically going out and saying, and doing like, hey, look, I found this awesome thing, or saying. Personally, that's probably something that I need to probably look for more on my feed, so the whole algorithm can show it to me. But
Yeah.
but just putting it out there, that book is quite an interesting find.
Want to be a modern Nathan
and,
Drake?
and yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. It's
exactly.
a modern Nathan Drake, and
Yeah.
like even if you just found one of them, it'd still be like maybe worthwhile. Like physically finding buried treasure
Getting
in your local city.
getting a jewel from the 80s. Like, fuck.
Yeah. Well, there's a key in there, and that key is used to open up safe deposit box. And the
Yeah, that's
family
like, what the
has
fuck in
already
there?
like
Who knows?
kept the spirit going in the book. So I think it's it'd be interesting. I want to see people find more of that treasure, get the book and go out and actually go, hey, look, I found one. And considering only 3 out of the 12 have been found, I think it's a good idea. Like if you're ever in that city, if you're in that city, you can find the book online. You don't have to physically buy it. Like there's a lot of devoted groups for it that have just you know,
There's
they've
always
mapped
for that
out
stuff.
everything,
Yeah, it's crazy, which is good. People
which
get
is
behind it.
good.
Some
You
people
know,
just want to get behind and just crack the codes. They're not even like wanting to worry about the gems or anything like that. They just want to.
yeah.
It's
Well,
just a
I
puzzle.
think
It's just to solve the puzzle of cracking the code. Like, oh, this is the location. This is if you want to go check it out, go check it out. They're helping other
well,
people
yeah.
find it. It's just part of
Yep.
being part of the adventure. Just
Yeah, I think even if you don't live in the city, it'd be interesting to kind of just kind of try and
Yeah,
crack the
just
code.
get someone else who lives there to do it. Like,
Yeah. Go
Yeah.
to the spot, bury it up for me.
yeah, but it'd be pretty sus. Like, here, get a shovel,
but
go to
yeah,
this place, and
So
start
just like
it
digging.
would be
yeah,
good to
start
read though to
digging.
understand like how the puzzles are done, like how it's explained in the book, like where the clues.
Yeah,
Is it fully laid out in each chapter kind of thing, or is it like you got to read part of it and you got to find the clue at the location to go to the next thing, or is it or is it all what I'm saying? Is it all explained through as you read
It's
for that area? Like,
the way it is. It's just each verse of the poem gives you a different location, which is
Yep.
linked to the a part of the photo
Yep.
or the picture, the illustration. So, and then from there you kind of match up, and it kind of leads you to the location,
Okay.
as far as I can tell. And so it's that the ones that were done. Some were very like the last one that was found. They explained it in being very obvious, as long
Yep.
as you kind of break it down.
So once you
each thing.
realized it was like, wow, okay, it was just like kind of in plain sight kind of thing. And it's just one of simple things which
And
some people are overthinking it maybe, and it's like you don't have to think that hard. It's very simply done, but it's makes you think, and you're like, oh,
Most riddles that are simple, you just overthink them. Like,
yeah, it's like escape rooms and stuff
yeah.
like that. It just seems overdone, but it's like it's not that hard.
Well, that's why I think the point that the author was trying to make was it wasn't supposed to be something like really hard for
It's
people
just
to
to get
find.
people out going
It
and
was to
to have a
get
journey.
people to go out and do something. Like think of back in the 80s, like we didn't have YouTube. They didn't have YouTube. They didn't have TikTok.
I had no internet back in the
They didn't
80s. I
know
don't think.
internet.
Like,
You would have to make your own fun. And I think the author back then was just like, hey, here's something that everyone can enjoy.
Because people were reading, like that was the big
To read
medium,
it, yeah.
was reading.
Yeah, exactly. So it's one of those things. Like it was that day's geolocation, you could say.
Yeah, exactly.
And considering
Geocaching,
it's still geocache. Considering now information is more accessible.
Yep.
I'm surprised that not more.
Not more people have found it because so many people
More
working
most
people
together.
things on the
Yeah.
internet just boom.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Like you
Crazy.
see, most people cracking codes these days, like a weird example would be like sometimes when Fortnite codes get leaked for like little weird puzzles, and people solve them in an instant. So like, in all it was a bit of geolocation, like dash this for a location, that, and then you find that, and then that is giving you a name to something else, and there's like a code you crack. People just find it, but people are cracking them in seconds. Like, boom, 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 we figured this code out.
It's
It's
the
like,
same thing.
what the
Yeah.
fuck? Like, you found an audio scripting in this code because it led to this, which then you go, this reference made this to this file, and you read it, and you're like, oh, this makes that, and you translate and figured out how to translate a file. And I was like, boom. It's like, oh, people are doing these things at max speed. It's like, why aren't more people finding this stuff from the book? Like, why are more people, not going out and finding these gems? Why are we not hearing? Or, maybe people have, and we're just not hearing about it because they don't want to brag about it. Maybe, who knows?
Well,
I think it's a bit of both of that.
They need to contact, as far as I can tell, after they get the key,
They have to
contact the
contact,
family.
yeah.
So and then they release the information saying this has been found. They won't say, they
Yep.
don't have to say who found it. You can still be completely anonymous, but at least give that kind of,
Yep.
hey, look, it's been found. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry for that one, yeah.
But yeah, and it's not. I think it's. Really
who
good that-
knows? Someone
Yeah, I think more people need to find.
might
it.
have even found part of it and gone, and they're sitting on it, or sitting on half of the thing that's been found. Like, anything could have happened.
Exactly.
That's true, but that's only a possibility because
Like, they could have been in one of the
it's
cities.
yes or no.
They're like, oh, I've done half of it. They were on the journey, and they're like, oh, yep. And then they've kind of just forgot about it because, like, I'll come back to that. And then they've moved state. And then they're like, fuck, half the puzzle's been taken with them because they found, an object or, we wouldn't even know. Like, there's all these variables that could be intertwined with all this now. Like, because of how long it's been. There's so many variables.
That's true, but by saying that, you kind of ruin the whole kind of concept of going, let's go out and find it because.
There's nothing stopping it. Like, if you don't know, you don't know. Like, you won't know until you get to that point where you go, oh, okay, this is where it is. You go, okay, it's been tampered with. Someone has found it. Now it's a dead end. Like, you wouldn't know until you do it.
Well, tampering, it's either find it or don't find it. That's the thing. It's the tampering would only go down to because time has changed.
Yeah.
A landmark that was a part of it has either been
Saying things have
removed
been moved
or
or
moved or something like that. But
damaged
that
or
shouldn't
something.
deter it because of the information we have today.
Mm.
We can all like that's why we have like the internet wayback machine. You know, you can hop on and check websites.
People have
Same
done
thing with that. We can
steps
check
earlier.
information. We can go back to steps earlier, like Google Earth. When you log on to that, when you go check out your house, it's not exactly the same as it is directly today.
Yeah.
So it still gives resources to what it was like 10 years ago. So it shouldn't diminish the fact that people shouldn't go out and still look for it.
Oh no, exactly.
And I'm just saying, it's like it's a nice idea to have and nice experience.
Oh yeah,
to
no,
go
I'm
out
not saying
for.
like it's deterring
Try
people.
for
Like
it.
there's just so many variables that can happen though with so much time. Is all I'm bringing. It's like
Yeah,
you wouldn't know until you do it. Like that's exactly you
Especially
wouldn't
40
know.
years.
Like anything, saying anything could have happened. Like that's what I'm saying. It'd be amazing if someone did that, started the journey halfway, and was just like, "Oh, I'll come back to that," because we're like that at times. There are mentalities where like you start something and you just leave it. Like there could be someone that's actually done half the journey, and they're just sitting on it and they've forgotten about it, and like maybe one day they'll realize like, "Oh, I've got this thing. Oh, I remember that," and then they connect the dots like, "Oh," and then they go on the journey because they've got half, it and they go, "Oh, wait a sec, there's that spark ignites them." And they're like, oh,
Yeah,
that's right.
true.
And then they go back, and then they're back on the journey again. I mean, anything could happen. Like we don't know, you know.
Yeah, I'm just the mentality of kind of like, I just remember I watched Clerks 3 recently, and I just love the idea of the saying. It's like either get off the pot, shit, or get off the pot, which is kind of like do or do not. You know, there is no try.
Exactly.
Just fucking just get it done. There's no point procrastinating. If you get it halfway through, well, technically you're halfway completed. Just get the fuck shit
That's
done.
what I'm saying. But like, how many times have we done something where we've done we've done something like that, and we've sat on the idea, you know, we've gone halfway, we're like, because it's gone for so long, like.
Yeah,
I mean, we don't know. Like, there could have been someone that was a kid at some point had picked up the book, you know, and was halfway on the journey, and then something's happened, and it's could have passed. Part of it could even pass down to like a grandkid now because it's been so long.
That's true. That's true.
And then they might pick up going, "Oh, what's this in this? What is this? Granddad's got this thing. What's this? You know?" And they might spark a new journey on that because like, "Oh, Granddad had this for so yeah." I was like, "Oh yeah, Dad had you know." It could be the father be like, "Oh yeah, Dad had. I remember Dad having this key or whatever for something. He found it one time.
Yeah.
You know, you can have it now." And then it sparks a new spark because they go, "Oh, what's this?" And then they connect the dots and go, "Oh, I'm gonna go there." And then that could happen too. Like anything, it's crazy. Like what could happen?
That's true.
It could pass on a legacy of generation of adventure. You know.
Yeah. Sometimes it's good to dive in the past. Sometimes it's not good. Like, you know, if you find out your grandfather had, you know, like a nice grey outfit which like had a red armband with some kind of lines on it, you shouldn't be diving into that past.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
But that's what I mean. Like you know, but you kind of But yeah, it's interesting. One of those things that it's an actual thing that we've got. Like I'm surprised more people haven't tried doing these things. I mean, they might have, but we just haven't heard about them or you know.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I like to still focus.
It's like the old
on
Simpsons one. It's like the Simpsons one when the Simpsons did it, where they had the thing and it was like the treasure was buried between the palm trees or whatever it was.
Yeah,
and everyone was mad
yeah.
looking for it because they had to follow the clues, but then it was there, but it was in the wrong spot or something. Like,
yeah, exactly.
They dug in the wrong spot or something. Yeah, it's like they were so close to like finding the treasure, and everyone thought it was just fake in the end. Like,
yeah. It's still nice though. I'm still.
But it's part of the journey. It's not about the end goal. It's part of the journey.
Yeah. It's not. It would be nice that it was found. It's like sure some may have been lost to time, but that's like any treasure.
But you wouldn't know until you do it. Like that's the thing. You wouldn't know.
Yeah, exactly. That's and I'm encouraging like by finding this book, finding that this book exists.
It could have even just like dissolved, just went into the ground. Like
anything.
Well, they're in ceramic pots.
Yeah, but
so like they could have been either shattered, lost. Who knows? But that's a possibility. You just don't know unless you go on that adventure.
Exactly.
And that's the point I'm trying to make. Like instead of deterring people to kind of go, well, these are all the circumstances that might fuck up your journey. Let's just.
I ain't trying to deter people. It's just a thought
very negative to the fact that you're ruining so you're deterring people.
I don't see it as a negative.
Nah, I mean,
no, but it is kind of coming across as deterring people, saying, "Well, don't worry about looking for it because it's lost in time. Go fuck yourselves." And Don't
No,
worry about it.
I'm just thinking of the fact that how many there could be the chances that people have got things out there that could be sitting on these things and don't realize. Like there could be one in like someone's front yard and they don't realize it's at their front doorstep. You know,
Yeah.
like on a park near a park bench under a pavement or something. Like it could be anywhere. Like there's been so many people that's so close to it that you wouldn't even know. Or people like I said that's what I'm just amazed by that. I'm just thinking it's crazy to think that there could be some bloke that literally has it in his backyard because it stayed there, but they've relocated the design, but it's still sitting there in the backyard. Like anything could be possible. Like, and just thinking like, what could And it would suck though, just thinking there's someone that found it randomly and they could have dug it up and be like, oh, this is just garbage and chucked it aside without realizing like the story behind it and the history behind it. Like yeah,
there's stories behind everything. Like in that sense of lost treasure, you won't find it. There's no point of finding it.
because there's like always the amount of times like I found random keys, and it's like I always wonder what could this key been to? Could it have been to like a car?
Could have been a treasure hunt. Who knows?
A house. That's what I mean. Like you find these keys, and sometimes I used to keep a lot of them. It's like,
Well,
it's like damn. Like there's
are
a
you
story
familiar with DB Cooper?
Yeah.
So the DB Cooper, there's the DB Cooper treasure.
Yeah.
So basically, that's another kind of like treasure in the United States that people could find. Lost money because that was never found. That was the money that he stole from that plane. He jumped from the plane, got lost, etc. The money was never recovered. So that's another kind of you could always go out and try and look for it. Whole mystery behind it, and it's nice to keep these type of mysteries alive. Because, like I said, even though there's a lot of factors that could go into it, like, oh, you can never find it because
that's what I mean. Like, there could be someone that's living close to like the money where it's fallen and it's overgrown. That was like that story of the guy in Australia where he had that tin, that he had that paint tin, and he had it sitting outside for like 30 years or 40 years or whatever it was until one day he went out there and he's like, oh, I'll have a look in there, and he had like all this old money in it. Like all these old $100 bills, $50 notes, and stuff like that. There was like $45,000 worth of money or something like that.
Like that's the moral of the story is
like it's crazy. You don't know. Like you never know unless you actually look. Like that's the thing. Exactly. There's sometimes people are sitting on things that are so close. Like he got it from a garage sale. He bought like tins of paint from a garage sale. Right. He had one and he bought him, just chucked him in his front garden, left him sitting there. Opened up one tin and it was just shit paint, and he threw it out. And he thought about throwing out the other tin, but he just didn't bother about doing it. And it was like 30 years had passed, and then one day he was like, "Oh, I'm actually going to look in this tin." It was like a bag of sand on top. Pulled that out, and it's just all this money in the bottom of his paint tin. And it's just like that. Like you don't know. You never know. Like you could be sitting so close to something, and you'd never actually know that you're so close to, to anything. Like unless you. It's crazy to think like what people have got stashed away anywhere, and people could be sitting so close to these secret hidden treasures that no one knows. Like you could, like Jim living in his house there, whoever built it, they could have put something in the walls. You wouldn't even know. Like because people builders love hiding stuff. Like I got this one mate who's a builder, and the amount of stuff he's hidden in walls and stuff when he builds. Like he'll hide like random notes of like, please help me, I'm stuck in like a fake arm and stuff like that. Like, and you build the wall around it. Like you put fake skeleton arms in the wall and random toys and stuff, and you just hide them in the walls. Like, you never know what could be in any house that you have in you're living in. Like I've got here, like, random patches, and it's just like, how do I not know that there's these random patches that are in this house aren't hiding anything? Like they could have been repatched up because something's been stashed into them. Like they're not just from like someone damaging the house. Like it could be someone stashed something.
Yeah.
So
it's like a cartel. They either hide money in the walls or dead bodies.
That's what I should say. Actually, if you're into that stuff, even if you want to watch it,
Wookie.
I'll say come back to that. But like I've been watching like this was like a little couple of months back. I've ended up going through it all. But I don't know if you've ever watched Matthias on YouTube. They had a thing they did which was Project 863. And it was the same kind of thing. It was all it's all made up fiction, but they wrote up all the scripting, but they used different things. It's amazing because they hid stuff in their office, but how they did the show and they planned it all up. They found the key, and like this went over a span of like 4 years or whatever it was, 3-4 years they'd filmed it. But like they found a key in the ceiling, and like, oh, what's this key? We're gonna sit on it. Oh, it locks to this, and they found a clue. They went to a safe. Oh, this safe and linked to this other thing, and then linked to this other thing, and which linked to another thing. And they found all these things hidden in walls and like ceilings and random cars, and it's like that. It's like they made this whole journey up, but they had fun making this whole fake story up. But even just watching it, it's a great journey because like you're seeing these things where they're like, oh, they're ripping open a wall and they're finding a case of something in the wall that's leading to another clue, and they're getting random mail sent to them, like things like that. It's a cool concept. So
Yeah,
I even recommend that if people don't want to go out but they want to experience it, they could even watch that as well. I was just thinking because that's a good thing to watch. I'd recommend people to watch. Like they said, it spanned over like 4 years of content. So that's another cool thing as well, like people doing stuff like that. So I just thought of that as well. If yeah,
And next minute in all our feeds, because of the algorithm we've been talking about now, it'll probably keep popping up on
you
our
might have
YouTube
Project
and our
863
TikTok.
pop up on your thing. It was a really cool
Yeah,
story
yeah.
that they did. Like
Yeah.
it was really thought out and really written really well. But like I said, the fact that they did stuff where they like got in their ceiling, they're like, "What's that glint? Oh my god, there's a key!" And it's like, "Oh, why isn't we've had this vent that hasn't been working for like 2 years?" And then they're like, "Wait, there was something clogging the vent. It was a safe deposit box," and like things like that. Like it's kind of cool. Like that's like it's a bit of journey that they made up just for the viewers, but like it's
Yeah.
content. Like it adds to that mystery and that story, and people got involved. And people on the subreddits and stuff were like debunking it and trying to figure out the clues and stuff. They were like, "We need your help." You know, and it's all made up stuff. They knew everything, but like that was the point. Was to get the viewers involved. It was just a story they made up. But it's like we need your help. Here's some clues. Try and solve them. And then the viewers would solve these puzzles and riddles. And then they were like, "Oh, we've seen your answers. We're going to try and do this." And then they're like, "Okay, next the next step because that's the answer they were looking for." You know, they wanted the audience to get involved and answer. So it's I want to see more of that stuff. Like it'd be cool to see more of that stuff, even in a digital aspect, even. You know.
Yeah. If you do, I have actually looked a little bit around into this. So there was a company, I think it was in San Francisco, and you can only get an invitation to this place by other people. So it
Yep.
was like you'd get this card, right? And the card would give you a location,
Squid
and you
Games.
go there. What?
Squid Games.
No, kind of like that. It was a kind of
Secret club.
it, it was a secret club. So only members can invite other people, and then you start, you can buy merch and all that kind of stuff. But to get to like after you do your little journey into it, I'll have to find the link off. I'll post it in the Discord. So essentially, you'd get a card, you go to a location, you'd have to leave your phone there. You give them the card, and then you got to go into this room. The room's all like twist and turny, and then you got to find the clues, and then you go down the slippery slide, and you can't see it because it kind of dips down.
Yep.
So it's kind of, it's only darkness at the other end, and they just tell you to do this, and it's very like it seems very secretive, cultish, secret society. You're only invited
Yeah.
to tell you like not tell anyone kind of thing. And then you take the, slippery slide down, and you got to go for all the other rooms. Next minute, you get interrogated or something like that. I forgot how it all
People
goes.
kept it pretty secret pretty well, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, it's stopped now because it was basically the concept was created by a company so they can do kind of private things for big companies.
Yep.
So makes it very exclusive, creates more clubs, more intimacy, all that kind of stuff. And you can only be invited by other people that were in their club. Essentially, it made it very culty, but it was actually run by a corporation. But they ran out of money and they had to close it all down. But it costs them like I don't know, a couple thousand a day to get it keep it running because
Yep.
they had to hire someone to like accept the cards at the front and get your mobile. And by the end of it, you've got like a secret number that you can call and it'll give you all
So the Men in
details to
Black?
go to another place. Yeah, it was like geolocation also. So they would send you to another place, but there would be like a symbol that only you would recognize.
Yep.
That would lead you to the next
So give
location,
the clue
and
to
then
yeah.
yeah, clue, and it'd send you to another very secret room as well. So it'd be like just a door opens, and next minute it's just all. So it was. I'll try and find all the details to explain it better. I'll explain it probably next time I'm on. And it was a really cool concept, but it was just very expensive to maintain for the company to keep it going. But it also created kind of a culty feeling
Yep.
because
Yep.
it was very
So
exclusive.
mystery and exclusive. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was one of those things. So
Um.
it's I'll try and find details to explain it better. But it was a very awesome concept that was first started in San Francisco.
Yep.
San Fran.
Sounds
Yeah,
about
it
right.
was
Sam.
very like very kind of think of escape room, kind
Yep.
of very kind of feeling, but it was just for you, like how you explored the whole concept, and it was like imagine like being brought to a secret room and then you had to explore a place, and it was very like oh, you gotta go in here and find the secret bookcase and kind of all that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
But I haven't flushed out, I don't remember the details exactly. I'll find it. I was going to talk about also Killer Clown Cartel in Mexico, but
I think we can hold that for
I've
next time. I think.
hold that for
Killer
next
clown
time.
cartel. Jesus.
Yeah, it's these guys in clown. I'll pretty much the best way to explain it: guys in clown masks going around in Mexico killing cartel members.
Yeah.
That's not a crime then.
No, no, of course not. If you weren't afraid of clans beforehand, you will be afterwards.
But we can get more. I think we can get more in that next time. What else? Have we got anything else, Jim? You got anything there? I do have a little bit more.
A new Ninja Turtle game.
Yeah.
It's a Ronin one.
Let's sit on the Ronin, the last Ronin.
Yeah, Last Ronin.
Oh yeah, I've
Triple A,
heard
like
of that. Yeah.
in the style of God of War. So I was like,
Yep.
ooh.
That'd be pretty cool for a
Well,
Turtles game.
I think it's in that, or they're going for that style. I'm not too sure.
Is that based on the
The
comic book?
Yeah.
Yeah, which was all the Ninja Turtles die but one, and then
Yeah.
you take
Raph,
one
I think.
yeah.
Was it Raph that was still?
I
Yeah,
think it was
one, wasn't it?
Raph.
Or is it?
Raphael,
Yeah,
yeah.
because he's the stronger. It's
Let me have a
Raphael.
look.
Yeah, that'd
Last
be pretty.
Ronin.
Yeah,
Oh, it's a
it's,
fucking book.
yeah, it's a comic book. It's pretty good.
Yeah, based on the comic book. Yeah.
Did they do? I think they did an animated as well. They did a movie or something.
That reminds me of another badass Ninja Turtle one, is where Shredder dies and he goes to hell and he's got to battle his way through hell.
Mm.
That
sounds pretty
was another one. That was Ninja Turtle.
Well, say
comic.
speaking
That
of
was
Shredder though,
pretty shit.
too, for a tiddly bit, they added Shredder into Call of Duty as well.
Oh, the Last Ronin's only a new thing.
Yeah.
It's been out for a couple of years.
Yeah, it's only a new thing though. Like, damn.
Pretty decent, pretty brutal.
I think it's an animated movie too.
Yeah,
Really? Yeah, I remember the comic book.
yeah. There was an animated. Also, they were doing an animated.
That
or
was
there
the
is
thing.
an
The original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they weren't kiddie.
No,
like,
that's what
kid.
that's what their last Ronin went back to. Like with that, like it was.
Yeah.
all the
Not
own-
until the animated series, till they made it all kiddie. Like the original comic books were brutal as hell. Like
Those
the
black
original
and white
movies are
up
pretty
on-
good too.
the
Yeah,
black
but
and white,
like even with if you remember, that reminds me of Toxic Avenger.
Yeah.
So Toxic Avenger, the movies, definitely not for kids.
Oh yeah, then
No.
I got the cartoon.
100%. But then they brought out the cartoon. It was like, oh, let's make it for kids. But it was like, yeah, just don't let them watch the movies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love Toxic
Well,
Avenger.
yeah, it was classic. But I think they do need to also bring back a few classic cartoons as well from the 90s and bring them to light. And like,
live
yeah,
actions
Black
or
and Mice from Mars.
There's supposed to be a new animated Biker Mice coming back. From what I last
okay.
heard, there's
Yeah,
a new another reboot or whatever coming. I don't know what's coming to
That would be
Netflix or one of the streaming platforms.
I would not
Or
be
Amazon?
surprised if it was
I don't know,
Netflix.
Netflix or Amazon, but yeah, there's supposed to be one of those
I
picking
just-
it up.
There's a Last Ronin statue coming.
There's plenty of them.
Raphael.
There's plenty of them already out.
Like, damn.
Yeah, it's been around.
No,
for
this
years.
one looks fucking good.
There's been some few good ones around for a couple of years now. I was gonna say there was the latest episode of The Mandalorian. We actually got to see Ahmed Best, who was the voice actor of Jar Jar Binks, actually get a live action role, like an actual live role as a Jedi.
It was a good. Well, considering for many years.
Oh,
he
it was
given-
Michelangelo, the last turtle.
Yeah, I like it was Michelangelo. Well, yeah.
Mikey the youngest,
from
yeah.
Star
Yep.
Wars. So, considering the actor that did Jar Jar Binks for several years, even up till today, to some extent, he was given a lot of slack because Jar Jar Binks. Like, do you
so many
remember
people just gave him
anyone
so
who
much shit
actually
for him.
liked? Yeah, so much shit because no one really liked Jar Jar Binks. Like me included, I think he was just useless in that.
Oh,
series.
I love Jar Jar Binks, so. Misa Jar Jar Binks!
Yeah, so.
Misa so Annie!
All right, no, I'm gonna finish that. No.
I love Jar Jar
So-
Binks. He's one of my favorite.
So it's like, yeah, it's
I was one of the
well,
minorities.
I think
I
this
had a
was
toy of him as a kid.
yeah. No, Jar Jar Binks, just no.
He's an
But
obnoxious character.
yeah, exactly. He was there for the kids, and when I watched, I was
Yeah.
not a kid, so I understand the concept. But this was a good redemption for the character, for
For the actor, yeah, to actually be.
the actor, and it was actually like it took me like a few seconds to kind of realize, going, "Holy shit, that's the guy that plays Jar Jar Binks,"
Hmm.
because he's aged and all that kind of stuff, and it was a good redemption for the actor, and made me think like, "Hey, look, this guy's fucking." He was good before, like actor's awesome, like
Hmm.
don't give him full shit for being Jar Jar Binks. It was a character he played. Like you're not going to give every
Exactly.
actor a shit for the
No.
characters they play. They are, either you hate them because they were that good at playing them,
Mm-hmm.
or you hate them because they weren't that good at playing them. Doesn't matter. They're an actor. They get paid to do a job. That's the fact. Like that's fuck you for
He was
canceling
too
people
good.
for doing their job. So, in the concept of like, in my eyes, like, you know, it was a good like it was nice to see him brought back to the Star Wars universe, not as Jar Jar Binks, but like as a different character. And it was actually kind of going, hey, look, it's good to see him. You know, it's good to see that like people that did hate Jar Jar Binks kind of was given new, another new shade to kind of go,
The actor
hey,
that.
look, the actor, was good,
He's a good actor. Like
and
it was just the character.
exactly. It gave him a chance to redeem himself in some cases.
Mm.
For some people, and it was also good to see like who actually saved Grogu from the temple.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it was a nice Easter egg by using that actor too.
Yeah, it was a nice little. It was. It was a really good role though, for sure. I enjoyed it. It
Yeah.
was a really good moment in the episode.
I still haven't seen it.
What else we got? There's the new casting for the new Ghostbusters Afterlife. If you haven't seen that,
Mhm.
the sequel to Afterlife. Kamal, no, I can't remember his name, but it's Kamal Nanjiani. He was in Eternals, I think, wasn't he?
No, yeah, they played the dude who got fucked up.
Yes.
There's a lot of guys that got fucked up in that movie.
There's also Patton Oswalt, James Acaster, and Emily Aileen Lind.
Don't know who
They're the
any
new
of those are.
four. They're the new four for the new Ghostbusters sequel.
Well, if it was anything like Afterlife, in the sense of how they like kind of they didn't force shit down your throat like that other
Yeah.
Ghostbusters movie.
Mm.
If they do it like in the same sense of Afterlife and kind of just peel back the layers and gradually give it to you as the audience, and still giving people that feeling of, oh shit, yeah, Ghostbusters, I love Ghostbusters. Then just the whole let's force feed this kind of mentality down your throat and say slap Ghostbusters on it. As long as they do it the Afterlife way, not the other way, I'll be happy. Not saying it, there wasn't merits to the other one, but they were just
Very
like
minor though.
very minor and covered in so much fecal matter that like you can't polish a turd because it's still a turd. But that's just my opinion. There was some, there might be some nuts in that turd. Let's put that, or pieces of corn. Who doesn't love corn?
It's like Shazam 2. That movie's pretty.
I haven't seen Shazam 2, so I can't like give my opinion on it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna drag it through the mud.
Well, I'll give you a hint. It's the lowest rated DT movie ever.
Uh,
And the opening weekend, which says a lot.
yeah.
Like,
Well,
fuck.
there was some good movies that came out recently. There was 65.
Oh, that's that alien one, isn't it?
Yeah, the Adam Driver movie.
That looks fucking good.
That one, yeah, definitely looks good. What else? There was a few other movies. Well, John Wick. John Wick just came out.
Yes.
I gotta see that. I haven't had a chance to.
Did we? Yeah, because that did pretty good so far with the reviews.
Well, yeah, of course it would have. It's John Wick.
IMDb gave it a 8.5 out of 10. Rotten Tomato gave it on the tomato meter a 95%, and the audience gave it a 96%. Metacritic gave it a meta of 78%, and the users gave it a 9 out of 10. So it seems pretty solid.
There's also some Star Wars steelbooks coming out very shortly
Hey.
for Return of the Jedi, Empire Strikes Back, and New Hope, the good ones.
Okay.
And you get everything. You get the 4K, the Blu-ray, and the DVD.
That's pretty cool.
So I was like, what? Where'd they come up?
Collector's edition things.
They come out in about a month.
Oh, there's Dungeons and Dragons as well that came out recently.
That's still coming.
Oh,
It's
that
in
looks good too.
some places have got early access to it. Early
Oh,
releases.
okay. It's
not officially
local
out
cinema
yet. It's
for me is
end
out
of the
tomorrow.
month. It's like 30th, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no,
Awesome.
it's like local cinema to me is you can see tomorrow.
Oh, then maybe it is. I thought it was the 30th.
Yeah.
That's cool.
The new Scream movie as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a few good movies. Yeah. That I'd say like John Wick would have instantly just buried anything.
That's
Yeah,
top
John
of
Wick's-
that's
John
top of the
Wick's
list.
everything.
John Wick. If yeah, it's I understand, you know, like it's coming to Easter soon. There'll be school movies coming out, and that's when a lot of movies will be coming out then that you want, like, you know, take your kids to.
They just slot in John Wick just before, like,
Exactly.
yeah,
Get it now.
yeah. Let the parents go see. Well, the fathers. Yeah, the dudes, whatever.
I think
go
everyone
see
loves John Wick though.
Oh, yeah, everyone John Wick. Yeah.
Everyone loves it.
The
Girls
process.
will be watching it just for Keanu Reeves. Guys will be watching it just for Keanu Reeves. I'll be
Keanu
watching
Reeves
it
just watching it
just
for Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, Keanu Reeves watching it for Keanu Reeves. What, you can't go wrong with John Wick.
Exactly.
You know.
Well, you can because there's no more for a while.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm gonna watch.
They're
this
taking
one.
a break for a bit.
Makes sense.
Yeah, weren't they going to do a spin-off?
Yeah, with
John
wasn't that with a new
Um,
character, isn't it? Or
Yeah, one of the characters. I forgot which one.
I don't
You
know.
It's a shame that oh
I'll
god.
Google it.
Lance Reddick. Was he going to bring up?
Yeah.
Yeah, we mentioned that last week's episode.
Yeah,
Unlucky.
It's a shame. Yeah, it's one of those things that you just can't, you know, just kind
Oh.
of go. It's sad.
Mm.
But yeah, is that all we've
It's
got?
about a ballerina, the spin off. I'm like,
Yeah,
about a ballerina.
hitman kind of thing. She's like a female
Yeah.
character. I think that's us done. I think that's us done for this week. I think.
Played by Anna Diarmas. Well, that'd be pretty good actually.
Jim, you don't have anything
Rooney.
else? We can wrap this up. We're about 2 hours.
We're only at 2 hours. Oh, gotta bring out Spider-Man and shit.
Don't
Let's
you?
go.
No!
No.
I was going to bring it up, but I was like, no, I don't want to talk about it
Oh.
because I did see some
But
new
what do you-
news.
What do you got?
The only thing I had about Spider-Man was Willem Dafoe said he's down to join the MCU again to be in another Spider-Man as the Green
Oh.
Goblin. That's all I had.
No, but the visual effects lady got fired who did like
Oh,
the last
that's-
few movies.
that's
She
old.
gone.
Oh, okay.
That's
yeah.
old news.
No, she literally got fired.
Yeah.
People said she left. No, she got fired.
Yeah.
She got kicked out
Yeah, because it's been
because
shit.
the movies are pretty shit.
Didn't
What?
Disney just kind of steamroll? Disney lately has just been like, all right, fire.
If you don't do your job, you're gone. Like,
Exactly.
which how it should be.
I know they're doing it. Like, I've been watching a few videos saying, you know, Disney's doing a rehaul because the last year or so, it hasn't been doing
gone.
quite well. Yeah, it's been going down. Like Disney Plus subscriptions have been going down,
Yep.
and viewerships have gone down, and there's some people saying it's
No,
because
they're
of
not
the
Disney.
whole.
They're pretty much just Star Wars and superheroes. That's all they are now. Like,
Yeah. Star Wars,
which
and
everyone's
superhero-
sick of.
I know they went for, you know, they said that they were scaling down a lot of Marvel projects because they wanted to focus on quality. than
Stretching out the
quantity.
time because they're going to push a lot of them out there. They're spread back over a few extra more years.
Only
now.
1 or 2 movies a year with a,
Yeah,
with a
and-
show or
and
two,
some-
which would be
some-
nice.
Some YouTubers are saying like, oh, it's because they realize that woke is going broke, kind of saying, you know, that they shouldn't push an agenda. They should actually go for quality rather than just try and push
Which is also true.
political correctness and stuff like that. Which, you know, it is a factor from what I see, but I've enjoyed some of the content that's been coming out, which some people have criticized. Like I actually enjoyed watching Miss Marvel, for example, the latest one. She-Hulk was not bad. Like, there was the breaking the fourth wall thing, which, I think Deadpool always did it better, but
Yeah.
that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
But the actress who played
Deadpool.
She-Hulk was, she's always done good. Like, there was
Yeah, well, we've mentioned
Black
that a few
Mirror.
times. Yeah.
I think it was Black Mirror series. I forgot which series she was in, where she played like multiple characters.
Mm.
I can't remember, but yeah, she was terrific. Like, it's like I said, don't 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 like cancel an actor because the roles they play. It's merely,
No, you cancel the writers and shit. Like, who has
well,
to...
yeah, exactly. You're blaming the wrong people. Like, it always comes down to
I mean, but
people
some
always.
actors and actresses do play a... They are bad. Like,
Yeah,
it's not all of them.
that's case by case
Mm.
situation. But I think it still comes down to where people blame the wrong people for the cause of the
But
problem.
also, they shouldn't play a certain character. They shouldn't, like... Some people just can't play certain characters.
Well, I think, yeah, like you said, sometimes it comes down to the writers and executives and producers where are the problem, which is what I think happening now with Disney, where they basically
Yep.
realizing going, hey, look, it wasn't the actors. We can't blame the actors because
That's what I'm saying. Deadpool 3 is our last chance. Like, if that is any way worse than anything under 2 or 1,
Yeah.
they're just done.
But the thing I'm saying is the reason I understand they're going for quality rather than quantity is because we're seeing some studios, like let's say HBO, The Last of Us, for example.
Yeah.
That was really good quality.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they didn't push any genders, they didn't do that. Like,
You like
there was
other
that-
people.
There was that
It's like they
episode
didn't
where it
clearly
was
did
like,
not watch play the games, like, or see what the game was like.
No.
Like, oh.
but you know what I mean. Like, it didn't, like, seriously. From what I saw, they didn't push things like, straight in your face all the time, kind of click, click, click.
No, but
It was-
season 2 people get even more salty about that.
Well,
Like they did in the game.
I know, but there was, there was that one episode with Ron, and it was kind of like,
Ew.
it was kind of like, oh, gay couple, whatever, good
Oh, you
guys.
should have seen the comment I saw. They said they're releasing the physical series, like on actual disc. Someone goes, it'd be better if they took out episode 3 and 7. Which is Bills and the Left Behind stuff. With Riley and Ellie. They're like... But they're like 2 good episodes, like...
Yeah, like, but
I know why
then
people
again,
get butthurt. People get butthurt, like, oh, you need to
people
remove
get
these. Like,
well, like I said, people are getting butthurt at the wrong people. Don't blame, like, it takes a lot of people to create these worlds and create these content, and you can't blame the people that are there
doing a
doing
10-year
their job.
investment there for them. Like,
Yeah, but
that was like 2015 they started doing that. Like,
but I'm
Talking
just saying,
about that, yeah.
it's like they blame the wrong people. They, like, if you are going to get upset at the writers that push agendas.
it's usually behind the
the
scenes. That's where it
producers.
is.
Yeah, it's the people behind the scenes. Don't blame the actors. And when the content does come out, don't disregard the entire thing because of 1 or 2 things in there. As long as not the entire content is being, shoved in your face, and that's
Yeah, I didn't
That's
like
like-
She-Hulk because the
basically-
writing was bad.
We've
like,
talked about that
agendas.
before anyway. We've talked about all these things a
Yeah.
million times before. I think we can always come back to them again another time anyway.
Yeah, we can go back to it. But I'm just saying, just
To come back and I was going
I
to make
don't
it
like
thing.
cancel culture in that sense, where it's just, let's start canceling people for the jobs that they've done. It's, it's not their fault, and sometimes
That's another thing to talk
maybe
about. There's been a lot of that that's been going on recently as well. So, I was gonna say there was actually related to one cancel culture thing before we do wrap up. Was the Justin Roiland situation? The
Yes.
courts have dismissed everything that was put through, and it was just basically a whole bunch of bull crappery. Basically, and there's no
familiar
actual
with that.
evidence, and now he's looking at building back up again where he started, I guess, and maybe reaching back out to.
Yeah, I
people,
reckon
but-
they burned a lot of bridges with him because they just kicked him off shit.
Well, that's
and-
like with the Rick and Morty stuff for a while there. Dan Harmon had like separated and distanced himself from Roiland. Like the fact that there was stuff that people had been doing that no one was really talking about, and now they've just come out when everything was going on their own, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're not doing this. Nah, fuck him, fuck that." It's like, well, it's really kind of like showing people's true colors now. The people that he's worked with, they really showed a lot of their true colors.
He won't be back on Rick and Morty, I
I
don't think.
think also that's the auto default these days, though. That's
Try and
the
distance,
problem.
do things to try and distance
It's
yourself.
rather than just finding out truth of it and just kind of instantly going into.
That's
That's
why I
fucking
never
Johnny
like.
Depp,
That's
like-
why I kept
Yeah.
following him because like I'll wait and see what happens. I'm still supporting the work. I'm still supporting the stuff he's done. Like I'll still follow him and everything. Just wait to see what happens and see what's going on, so I know what's happening, staying up to date on it all. But yeah. But that's
even
something
though
we can come back to once more.
Yeah.
comes
Well,
up on that.
one thing I do want to say is either one or two things. One, like you know, one you find out it's false or whatever. You got to give it time. You find out it's bullshit. Or the other thing that generally does happen sometimes when the person is at fault, but you got to still wait, give it time, and find out if it is.
In the sense of proven guilty.
Oh, exactly. But the news cycle always goes in like a 21-day loop, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter with anything. In 21 days, they'll they'll forget about it, and then they'll pick up something else to be all enraged
Which they did.
which they did, which they'll pick up something else. So
Like I said, we can
that's
talk about
why-
that. We can come back to that definitely because I've seen a lot of stuff that comes up where culture's getting onto stuff, cancelling stuff, and then moving on to the next thing. And I've been keeping a log to a lot of that lately. So yeah, we can definitely come back and look at that.
Yeah,
but
you know, it's like Bill Cosby.
I think, yeah, exactly. You'll come back around again. Like I said, there's other stuff you've seen popping up again.
Just
Well,
fuck it
like
out.
Rob Harris
Go
and
out-
stuff.
Yeah.
Well, we
Don't
can
go
have, we
out
can have a whole
with the
episode
great
that. I
fella.
think we can have a whole episode of that stuff. We can have a whole episode spending the time talking about cancel culture and bringing up all these receipts of all these different things that have happened. But I don't want to keep going any longer. It's going to get too long otherwise. It's going to be way too long of an episode. So I think we should wrap it up there anyway. Don't want to cut these too short.
No. Before we take it any further, yeah.
'Cause-
Just don't let Bill Cosby make
No.
you drinks. That's all I can say.
Oh, we've the amount of times we
Oh,
keep...
Michael Jackson.
It's just a trap. Every time we keep re-rinsing the same jokes and the same like topics. We keep bringing up the exact. And it's not like I'm gonna still for a little bit longer. Like it's a little rant, but that's the same thing. It's like not when we talk about these things. It's the same things we keep talking about. So if it's Marvel, it's the exact same stuff. It's Spider-Man. It's the She-Hulk. If it's Star Wars, it's the same.
But-
like it's always the exact same stuff. It's nothing new. Like it's not
It-
like
I
Star
know-
Wars. Let's talk about
no, no, no.
Or like it's Star Wars.
There
let's
is
talk about...
there is stuff new. It's just because we use those previous examples because it's always links to the newest
Yep.
stuff. That's why,
Exactly.
because it always go. We use them as examples in the past where this has happened again and again and again, as examples, and that's why we always refer back to it because they're easy go-tos because we've talked to about in the past.
Like a bunch of episodes we've got chunked.
It's-
I could literally get to every episode, and I could actually find a segment if I could just type. If I could like use an algorithm to chunk it out and just be like, find me Spider-Man, and I reckon I'd be able to find that we've mentioned Spider-Man once in like every episode we've done. Like
It's like us talking about it. It's like think of Disney as an X,
and
right?
Disney would be another word, but
Disney is an X in the sense of like all those times that those red flags that you should have just broken up with her in the past, but you're
Yep.
still around because she still puts out good content, if you know what I mean. So, but
Disney
you come
doesn't.
back to it again and again because she gives you a phone call at 2
actually
in the
realised-
morning.
The last good superhero movies were pretty much Fox
it's hot. I'm getting hot in here.
with Logan and all that.
All right, but no,
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't derail.
But,
I don't derail it.
yeah,
It's fucking done.
We thank you, Ben and Beards, for joining us on episode 12. I'm cutting off right here. As always, thank you, Wookie, for joining us, man.
No worries. This is the way.
As always,
Do it.
we have been Dale, Jim, and Wookie. Catch you guys next week. Bye-bye. I was going to bring up the whole more fucking Deadpool stuff. I say that for next week.
It's not even cutting it out.